but I think what we're going to do is get started with Sally's book reviews so that we can be sure and stay a little bit ahead of schedule. And maybe by the end of the day, we won't be too far behind. So, are you ready, Sally?
I am. Well, I'll start sharing my screen again.
Yep.
And then I will be ready.
Perfect.
I want that one. Yeah, there we go. It says I am sharing my screen. I hope you see it.
We do see it. Yes, we do.
Okay. So I'm just going to jump in, and this is my usual talk about books having to do with the summer reading program. Some a little more and some a little not quite as obvious, maybe, but you know, that's how I operate. So I do have my script to keep me on target and to make sure I talk about the things that are important about that book for you to know. So that's why I do this. I want to keep on time, and we might even get a little extra time for our break. Who knows? So we'll get started. I always have to do this. Okay, we'll get started with fiction picture books, which is what I usually do. And also I should say that the books I have on the list are ones either we received here at the Library Commission as review books from publishers, or I saw at the public library, or I read something about it somewhere and tried to find it at the public library. And occasionally I even bought the book so that I could have it and read it. So if your favorite book isn't on this list, these are newer books that have come out since the summer reading program manual was put together. That's why I think the newer ones are ones you haven't heard about yet, as are not as likely to have. So that's why they're on here now. And you're welcome to jump in and say, hey, I have that book and my kids love it, or I have that book and no one will check it out for love or money, because people want to know that. These are ones I think will be great. And sometimes I'm wrong. I can't believe it, but it happens. So we'll start with The Old Man and the Penguin. A man in Brazil finds an exhausted penguin covered in oil on the beach near his home and nurses him back to health. The man knows the penguin needs to leave and find his own kind, and eventually the penguin does. But the next year, at the same time, the penguin returns to spend several months with his friend. And this happened for many years. And as it says on the book, this is based on a true story. This really happened, which is kind of wonderful. This is a play on The Boy Who Cried Wolf. The boy is sent to the top of the hill to watch for pirates. He calls out several times, and each time his father corrects him, saying, no, the ship you're looking for is a big ship, not a little boat. So don't call about little boats. Just call if it's a big ship. And then the next time, well, no, this is a big ship with big sails and the pirate flag on top. So you got to watch out for that, not just any boat. And eventually, the pirates do arrive. And he runs through the town calling out to people, and everyone hides, but not for the reason you think. Javier and his father Tomas fish every day on their boat Magdalena. Various seabirds flock around the boat every day, and one day an albatross was caught on one of the hooks. Uncle Philippe pulled it from the hook and tossed it on the deck. When they were cleaning up, Javier found it. It was still alive, so he hid it under a tarp. He later smuggled it to the storeroom behind their house and cared for her. When it was time for her to leave, he realized that his father had just sold her to someone. But Javier found her and grabbed a wheelbarrow, put her in it, and ran up the hill into the wind, hoping that she would take off. Does she fly? Vivi, who loves science and the ocean, and her class go to the beach to study tide pools. They make aquascopes. Instructions are included in the book, and they use them to observe what kind of plants and animals they find in a tide pool. Some good advice is included as part of the story. And the back of the book has a 2-page spread of additional information titled Vivi's Science Facts. And this is a part of a series about girls in science. Una is a mermaid, and she enjoys spending time with her otter friend Otto in the sea, collecting treasures. But sometimes trouble finds them. There is one treasure Una cannot quite reach. She has tried and tried different things to help her, reaching to get it unstuck. It's a crown that's stuck in a rift. Finally, she gives up, but she's just not herself anymore. Then An unusual shell floats by her. It could be just the thing. It and Una's new goggles she invented. Yay! This is great fun. Schwashby is a retired captain, sea captain, and he, look at the name of the boat, El Recluso. He wants the beach and the cove to himself. But new neighbors, a girl and her grandma, have moved in. He likes living on the shore by himself, so he writes a few messages in the sand, basically telling the people to go away. But each time the ocean washes away some of the words or letters, so the message looks like he's glad they are there. It's very clever. For example, no trespassing becomes sing. And so the girl does. Along the shore, she sings, and he's so disgusted, and he writes some more things. And, it's only a matter of time before he'll become less grumpy with them. And I think this idea of the message and what it could be changed into is something you could do with the kids after you read the story. What other things could the ocean change if you wrote them down? It could be fun. Oh, the seagull. He demonstrates that he is better than anyone at swiping food items from people. He swoops in and grabs it and off he goes, and they're shocked and appalled, but they don't have a sandwich anymore. Then along comes a cute crab, and he charms snacks from people. Just looking so cute, they have to give him something. Soon, the two are a team and are polite to everyone, willing to wait for the treat that is offered. Neil Gaiman has written Pirate Stew. This is told in rhyme. A boy and girl's parents hire a pirate, Long John McRawn, ship's cook, for their babysitter. After the parents leave, the entire ship's crew shows up. First, what to feed the kids? Well, pirate stew, of course. They throw in all kinds of things and then sing their chant, which ends with, "You'll become a pirate too." So the kids don't eat any of the stew. Then they travel to Sally's donut shop, and the kids leave the pirates at the saucy treasure chest and go home with Long John McCron, where the parents arrive just in time to see the stew and take a bite. Now they turn into pirates, and the last page is the kids on a pirate ship with their parents, and all the pirates are going, "Arr." This is an older book, but the paperback just came out in May of 2021. Nellie loves her new swimsuit. It is just right. But when she and her mother go to the beach, Nellie avoids getting into the ocean. "Water scares me," she says. She wears her swimsuit for all other activities, everything from bike riding to going out to dinner to sleeping in it. Mom takes her to visit Grandma, who has a swimming pool. Grandma was a champion swimmer, and she takes time and patience to get Nellie into the water and to teach her to blow bubbles, float, and move her arms to swim. The lessons work. Nellie loves swimming, just like Grandma. A mother and her daughter pretend the bath is actually the sea, with many creatures, dangers, and beauty. Don't forget, it is also a lot of fun. Splashing, it seems, is okay with this mom. This is a wordless picture book. An African-American boy has a camera, and he is taking pictures all the way along this trip to the ocean deep. He wanders away from his class, who is visiting the ocean floor. He is a little concerned when he sees the submarine heading back to the surface without him, but he has a few watery friends who help set up a light signal for when the submarine returns. All is well in the end, and the reader gets to see the photos he took. This title is Alba and the Ocean Cleanup. Alba loved living on her beautiful reef, but over time, more and more trash showed up on the reef floor. One by one, Alba's friends moved away. One day, she saw a beautiful pearl inside a plastic bottle. When she swam out to get it, she was trapped and she couldn't get out. She and the bottle floated along until a girl on the beach saw her. The girl put her into a bucket with some water and told the other people what had happened. The people worked together and cleaned up the beach and the reef. Alba could return home, where she found many of her friends had returned as well. Pat is a fish in a bowl, and he is out in a rowboat with his friend Mike, who is an elephant. Mike is napping, so Pat jumps out of the boat into the sea. He meets a lot of colorful, friendly fish, and then all of a sudden the crab yells, "Hide!" A shark is coming. Pat cannot hide. He can't find a place there. and the shark grabs him in his teeth. But what is this big thing coming from the surface? It's Mike. Brief text and colorful illustrations will appeal to young readers and listeners, and this would be good for story time, as are many of the titles I'm talking about. A girl and her mother explore the many sides of the ocean while spending their day at the seashore. The girl says, "My ocean is big, my ocean is small," with the illustrations to provide the meaning behind the words that she's using. It's poetic and all-encompassing. It's a wonderful day at the beach. Noah must wait on the beach while Nana finishes fixing their boat. He is eager to sail out to find the seals. While waiting, he creates a sand seal and he watches the waves with him. A storm comes along and Noah and Nana get into the beached boat to wait it out. Noah's seal is washed away after the storm. The boat is fixed, but Nana says they will sail tomorrow until Noah sees a real seal in the ocean. They sail and it leads them to the rocks where many seals are resting. What a day. This is similar to another book, a nonfiction book I'll talk about in a little bit, but in this one it's stated to be fiction, sorry. Captured somewhat by accident, an octopus endures captivity where they give him interesting things to do, but nothing really changes. There's no tide coming and going. There's no unexpected food floating by. One night he left out of the glass house, along the floor, under the door, and off to the sea. And you'll see the other book when I get to the nonfiction. Kai, a merboy, loves to give squishes or hugs to his mom and anyone else around, but the pufferfish puffs up. He doesn't like squishes. He would rather have a fist bump. Kai finds out what type of contact other sea animals prefer, and soon he realizes that every fish likes their own kind of squish. This is a story about permission and learning what others prefer before you just go ahead and hug somebody. The bears who have been on chairs and in the snow and in a band, to mention a few, are now at the beach. Big brown bear is there to help while they build a sandcastle. They have some trouble, but eventually they get her done. Little ones will love the bears working hard, but still enjoying the beach. It's a good choice for story time. Okay, so this is not the ocean, but it is a fish. The fish bumps his nose on the side of his bowl, and he decides his house is too small. He walks away and tries some other houses. It isn't until the turtle tells him that he cannot breathe without water that he collapses. A girl runs to get him and puts him back in the bowl. Then she puts the turtle in with him. Now the bowl is not too small. He has a friend. Edgar is puzzled and frustrated by his designation as a jellyfish. Okay, the jelly part is fine, but he is definitely not a fish. He talks with some starfish who knows just what he means. They are not fish either. Finally, Edgar decides to enjoy what makes him unique and not worry about what people call him. This is only in board book format as far as I can find for purchase, but it's so fun, I just had to put it on the list. An octopus cannot find any underpants that take his 8 legs into account. He is very frustrated. Then he finds the swanky undersea emporium that has something for everyone. Silly and fun, with lots of fish in underpants and other clothing items like hats, socks, jewelry, etc. It has a surprise ending. It isn't until then that the octopus realizes he doesn't have 8 legs, he has 8 arms. No problem. 2 sailors, Albertini and George, are floating along on only a small part of their wrecked ship. When it starts to rain, Albertini thinks that that's unfair. George says, it could always be worse. One after another, unfortunate things happen to them, and none of it goes away. George continues to make his statement each time. And one of the things is flying fish with diarrhea. So that's not so good. Yeah, they end up on a small island with a cave, but when George puts out the fire, they see lots and lots of eyes staring at them from the ceiling. George finally says, this does look bad. Albertini relights the fire to find an amazing surprise. So this is about optimism, looking for the positive, accepting where you are, and not giving up. This is a very touching book. Beautiful art carries this story told in brief text. Each two-page spread has the wish of an inanimate object, wishing they were larger or shorter, cooler, calmer, and more to help the family on their way to safety. Fleeing from Vietnam, the mother and 3 children walk away in the night and join others on a too crowded small boat. Their week's journey takes them to a big city that could be Hong Kong. The author's note at the back indicates this journey is similar to the one that she and her family took in 1980 when she was a baby. A child compares his life with that of a baby humpback whale. They both have a mother to watch over them. They are both growing and learning. The whale hits the water with her fin and makes a loud splash, and the child can jump into the water and splash too. Beautiful art shows the whale's world. The title includes a note at the end of the book giving some additional information on humpback whales. And now we'll get into some nonfiction, like I said. Yusra, living in Syria, was hoping to compete in the Olympic Games. Then the war comes to her country in 2015. Yusra, who was 17, and her older sister were sent ahead. They flew to Istanbul, Turkey, and then took an overcrowded boat to the Greek island of Lesbos. But the engine quit and their boat took on water. So the sisters and 2 others jumped into the sea to push the boat and guide it to the island. Eventually, they made it to Berlin, Germany, where their family later joined them. It's told in short 4-line with 2 to 3 words per line poetry. For example, just a girl with a dream. Olympic Games, swimming team. The author has also written another one, Sakamoto Swim Club. Children of the field workers who cut the cane keep busy and cool off in the irrigation ditches in Hawaii. The policeman runs them off, but the science teacher, Suichi Sakamoto, asks permission to use the ditches and to train the children to compete in swimming. He gets to go ahead and works with the kids, and eventually some of them decide to work towards the Olympics. And it's told again in the short 4-line with 2 to 3 words per line poetry. Swimmers share Olympic dream. 3-year swim club forms the team. A guessing game or puzzle, the author states several features of the animal on the next page, asks the reader to guess, and then turn the page. This book is written for quite young readers, so the clues, along with a watercolor illustration of a part of their body, like you see on the cover here, will often result in a right answer. Most of the creatures included are from the ocean, with only a few freshwater choices to be named. It's a fun story time choice as well. In 1818, Jean Power decided to be a naturalist, studying animals and plants. She taught herself walking the island of Sicily with a notebook, talking to scientists on the island, and reading books. When she became fascinated with marine life, she was the first to design a particular aquarium in order to study them up close. Since scientists had been arguing for years about the shells of the paper nautilus, did they grow them or steal them? She conducted an experiment and proved the paper nautilus grew its own shell. She made other discoveries and kept careful notes, publishing her research when able and keeping her name attached to her findings. Told in rhyme and prose, this is the story of plastic, how it began and how it is now everywhere, and makes it clear that we humans must reduce our production and use of plastic. The oceans are one main focus, especially the 2-page spread on the 2 great Pacific garbage patches, one on the east and one on the west. Until I read this book, I didn't know there were 2. I thought there was only 1. It includes a lot of additional information at the back of the book. Marie Tharp, born in 1920, was not allowed to study the natural world until men went off to war, World War II. She got a job in a laboratory, but was put on desk duty when the men returned to work. She analyzed the depth measurement data that they brought back from their research trips. The data showed a deep valley in the floor of the Atlantic. No one believed her, so she did the work again. The valley was still there. Jacques Cousteau didn't believe her either, so he sent cameras down deep into the ocean, and they proved her right. As it says in the book, Marie's map opened the door for us to a better understanding of our planet. This is a picture book biography of Mavini Betch, whose great-grandfather in the 1930s bought a beach in Florida for Black people and everybody to use. As an adult, Mavini was an opera singer singing around the world. She returned to Florida and American Beach when her mother became ill. The beach had deteriorated since beaches were no longer segregated. Mavini became the beach lady, working to save the beach and other things in this world. Eventually, American Beach became part of the National Forest Service, and Mavini died in 2005. Here's the other octopus story. A look at the octopus life cycle, how they are ready to live on their own right after hatching, what they eat, where they hide, and more. And then we focus on Inky. He had lost the ends of 2 tentacles before he was caught in a lobster trap. Probably he ate the lobster first. The fisherman noticed his wounds and took him to the aquarium in New Zealand. He recovered and he lived there for an unspecified amount of time, except that he grew from the size of a baseball to the size of a soccer ball. One night, the keeper forgot to close the lid to Inky's tank tightly enough, and that's all it took. The author provides a plausible, fictionalized route for his escape, likely back to the sea. She also emphasizes that octopi are curious, and that likely led to Inky escaping. And it includes an endnote at the back of the book. This is one of many books about sea turtles, I'm sure, but it has excellent photographs. Many are close up, and text. And all it tells you about is the hatching and the run to the sea of a clutch of leatherback sea turtles. Sarah Gerhardt has been surfing from a young age, beginning in Hawaii. She was the only girl learning to surf, so she had to use boards and wetsuits designed for men. She loved big waves, and one day in February 1999 in California, she sat waiting for her wave at Mavericks, a famous beach known for its huge waves up to 50 feet. No woman had successfully surfed a big wave there until Sarah. A fold-out near the end of the book gives a sense of the size of the wave she rode. Of course, fold-outs we know will be susceptible to tears and damage, but it does give an idea of how high that wave was. So now we'll do some beginning readers. Little Penguin and his friends have discovered a strange object. It is not tasty. It is not at all comfy to sit on. You see how they have it sitting there on the ice pack. Franklin thinks it could be a back scratcher. Reginald thinks, since part of it spins, it could be a feather dryer. Maybe it is a kickball launcher. Creative thinking, solving a puzzle or not, and working together combine in this beginning reader. And the kids will just enjoy how much they are trying to figure this out, and they don't even have it sitting right. This is a first Clark the Shark in the new I Can Read Comics set of books. Clark is ready for the school sing. He loves to sing. The class's practice went great, but then he discovers there is a dance to go along with the song. He cannot dance and sing. He keeps falling down. The day of the event, their teacher tells the class to sing out and have fun. But when they see the audience, they all freeze. Finally, Clark starts to sing and the class joins in. Their dance becomes a conga line instead as they have fun. So sing away. Ty looks out the window and it is a great day to go to the beach. He and his dad go to the sandbox and Ty imagines the beach. They build a sandcastle and see some seagulls. Soon they are splashing in the water. We see them with water hoses. Soon Ty's friend Jazz joins them bringing his beach ball. Some imaginary surfing, and then it's time for ice pops. The ice pops are real. Great day. And this is a good example of imaginary play. And you can see on the cover, the artwork shows the kids are real and the surfboards and the ocean, because they're just differently drawn, are their imaginations. So that's fun to show the kids. Another beach day. A family of 4 pack the car and head to the beach for a glorious day. So they are really at the beach. Short sentences will appeal to the new reader. Hot sand, run fast. Dive in quick, something tickles. Seaweed, ick. Fish tells his mom the ocean floor is dark and cold and boring. He says he's going out. Fish went up to the surface, but it was still dark and cold and boring. But then something amazing happened. The sun rises. Fish introduces himself, and soon the sun and Fish are playing games. Then the sun turns red and explains that he is setting, but Fish doesn't really understand that. He's confused and lonely again. Going home, he has a tear in his eye. The next morning, he goes to the surface again. His friend's son is there. They agree to meet every day and play. Some early chapter books. Soraya and her 4th grade class are going to the aquarium, which Soraya loves. All of her classmates think she's a little weird, so she sneaks off to the immersion display. And there she thinks she sees something unusual. It is a mermaid. When she finally can talk with the mermaid, she learns that she was accidentally caught in the net catching small fish to feed the aquarium fish. She must get back to the sea and back to her family. Soraya finds a bucket and a cart and manages to leave the aquarium with Estelle. The bay is just across the street. Soraya gets in trouble with her teacher, but she does manage to get Estelle back to the sea and her family. This is book 1 in Benny McGee and the Shark. Benny must write a report for school, but when a real shark with lots of teeth shows up in the rain while he's walking to school, he is caught off guard. He runs home after school and then sees a shark riding a scooter around his house 3 times. He is circling his prey. His parents suggest Benny invite him in. So he does, and he learns a lot about sharks. He names him Mr. Chompers. He thinks bringing the shark to school would be perfect for his report, but the deep sea fisherman who was going to talk to the class tries to catch Mr. Chompers in his net. The shark must run to the sea. But after that, Benny was no longer afraid to go in the ocean. The illustrations are in blues and grays on every page. And book 2, Benny and the Shark, We Are Famous. Dewey, one of Benny's friends at school, does not believe Benny knows a shark. So Benny decides to shoot a video of Mr. Chompers eating cookies as Benny throws them to him. He gets permission to post the video online. He kind of fudged what he was saying to his mom. Soon they had 6 million views. The next morning, there were news trucks everywhere. How do they get out of this? The illustrations in this one are in purples and grays on every page. This is book 1 in the Shelby and Watts series. Shelby, a fox fond of mysteries, and Watts, a badger fond of his encyclopedia, receive a letter from a hermit crab asking for help. When they arrive at the shore, they spot their friend Artie, a rhino, hunting for treasures. He points them down the shore to where the good shells are. They find Fred, the hermit crab, on the beach, and then they go to the tide pools where they find lots of different animals. At first, it seems that they are going in circles. Then Shelby realizes something and solves the mystery. There are 3 books so far about Kondo and Kazumi. This is book 1, where Kondo and Kazumi, they live in a world similar to ours, but with some very different animals and different possibilities. They live on an island, and one day they find a map in a bottle. Kazumi, the small orange one, wants to build a boat and go exploring. Kondo, the big yellow one, does not. Eventually, they sail away from home, and soon they find an island made of cheese. Dairy Island, yum. As they venture off, a storm blows up, and soon they are lost. But there is an island nearby. It has a talking mountain named Albert on it. Albert doesn't want them to leave, so he blows away their boat during the night. They work it out, and they build a new boat and promise to visit again. Back out on the sea, they go looking for more adventures. Then there are 2 more books with similar stories. This is book 2 about finding, they're looking for Spaghetti Island because they're hungry and they're tired of eating coconuts. They find an island that is not on the map, and they realize it is an abandoned ship overgrown with plants. They have an argument and each go their separate way for a while, but soon enough they're back together again. And this book ends with, they never argued again, except when they did. Book 3 is about, they're on their way home, but they want to stop at a couple more islands. And when they finally get home, things don't seem quite right. When they reach their house in the tower, it looks different in the dark. They find slime on the floor and something with 2 long snaky arms that scares them away. In the morning, they go back to see what is there. After another bit of a scare, they find a new creature named Susan. She had found a map too, and she came to their island. They found a better place for Susan to live and spent time together every day. The last page says, absolutely not, the end. So there may be more. We'll find out. This is book 1 in another series called Wind Riders. The book is titled Rescue on Turtle Beach. Max and Sophia find a magical sailboat thanks to a seagull, and they travel to Hawaii in an instant to help some sea turtles hatch and find the ocean. It's a good adventure story with environmental information included in the action. Amazon says this is book 1 of 3. They know more than I do in this case. Fiction for grades 2 to 5. Eva gets her assignment to work for her novice witch rank at the coastal town of Oteri. Her magic is small, as is her confidence, but she knows practice will help her magic stronger. She has an odd quirk. Whenever she uses magic, she gets tired and she has to sleep. No other witch has to rest as much as Eva. Still, she does her best to help the people of the town. Her magical repair shop begins to get business, and her efforts help in unexpected ways. Then she learns a huge magical storm is headed for the seashore town of Oteri, where she is, and she must find a way to protect the people and defend the town. Set in Barbados, Josephine, 11, is determined to keep her widower father from finding a girlfriend. She is also eager to play on the school's cricket team, but the coach is against it. Then a new woman comes into their lives, Maurice. She is beautiful and loving, but also she does not like to be contradicted. It isn't long before strange things are happening, and Josephine comes to the conclusion that Maurice is a sea creature from Caribbean folklore, and she will not be easy to defeat. You see her there in the background in the water, kind of creepy. Half sisters Stella and Josie, only 4 months apart, will be starting high school in the fall. Since they only get together for the summer on the Jersey shore with their dad, Josie, who lives in Australia, is ready for all their usual fun. Stella is hoping to change her image to almost high schoolers. Another big change this year is their much-loved flavored ice store is gone, and a new smoothie store has taken its place. It isn't long before Josie and Stella realize they have stumbled into a mystery. Something strange is up, and they are determined to find out what is going on. It's told in alternating chapters of now, when each is talking with the police detective, and the recent past, when what things led up to them talking to the police detectives. It's a good mystery, they're good friends, and they have some potential boyfriends. It's a satisfying summer read. Princess Noah, who is now 12, her older brother Prince Julian, 16, and Princess Mai, 5, had to flee their land when someone killed their mother. Julian should be king now, but they are in exile. Julian's magic keeps their moving island afloat, and his bargain with the sea serpent keeps them from being spotted by their enemy, Javier Whitethorn, who's the one who had their mother killed in a coup. Noah keeps an eye on her brother, as she knows his magic can affect him, and he could end up an evil Dark Lord. Betrayal and danger face them all, but Noah is the best of them at strategy and unexpected moves. Can they regain their kingdom? Betsy K. Glory, 8, has purple hair, an ice cream making father, and a mermaid mother in this whimsical story full of unusual characters. They live on an island left off the map of the world, but are not distressed about that. Mr. Tiger arrives via his ship, bringing with him his circus made up of gongalong acrobats, people much smaller than the usual humans. The problem to resolve is Princess Albie of Gongalong Island, now living on the island left off the map of the world, has been turned into a toad by her half-sister, Princess Olaf. Mr. Tiger has an idea of how to solve it, involving a blue moon and the help of almost everyone. The quirky plot and solution will entertain readers who will also enjoy the satisfactory conclusion. This uses a dyslexic-friendly type and blue ink for both the text and the illustrations. Another book, the second, is about the sea dragon. Traditionally, the sea dragon leaves her egg with the people of the island left off the map of the world, and the people care for it and protect it until it hatches. She lays an egg every 50 years, so this is the first time for lots of the town people. Pirates arrive on the island, and they are looking for the forest of golden apples and do not believe it is under the sea. The apples in the sea dragon's forest turn golden when it is time for their egg to hatch. The pirates switch a hen's egg for the egg the people are protecting, and he holds the egg for ransom. 3 crates of golden apples. Never fear, there may be some way for Mr. Tiger and Betsy to outwit the pirates. This also uses dyslexic-friendly type and blue ink for both the text and illustrations. Clara lives with her parents on an island tourists call exotic, but to her it is just home. She used to love the ocean and surfing, but last summer something major happened. She doesn't remember it, and now she is afraid of the water, and she doesn't know why. Her best friend Gaina is being rather unfriendly and teases her that she can't remember anything, not even yesterday. But she can remember everything else. A new girl Clara's age comes to the island and enjoys Clara's company. Maybe Gaina will rethink her moody treatment of Clara. Finally, several things come to a head at the same time, and it is now time for Clara to remember what happened and what she needs to do now. This is book 2 in the Mouse Watch series, which is associated with the Rescue Rangers from TV, but you don't have to read the first book to get this fun story involving the ocean. Bernie, Bernadette, and Jarvis, a rat, are the newest members of the Mouse Watch, an organization dedicated to saving the world. They are continuing their training, with Bernie eager to get a real assignment and Jarvis looking forward to their next meal. Due to circumstances, Bernie and Jarvis are the only Mouse Watch members available for a vital assignment. It involves scuba diving to a sunken ship that has a valuable item on board. Can they save the day? We hope so. Sorry. This is set in 2017. Samira, 11, her brother and her parents are now refugees in Bangladesh after fleeing their home in Myanmar, formerly Burma. They are Rohingya, an ethnic group and Muslim. The Rohingya lost their recognition from the Myanmar government, after which prejudice against them slowly increased to attacks and the burning of homes. Now Samira sells hard-boiled eggs each day to the tourists on the beach. Her father works on a shrimp boat, her brother works in a nearby restaurant, and her mother tends their chickens and cares for their one-room shack, their home. Samira makes some friends, other girls who are selling things to the tourists, and when all is sold, the other girls like to try surfing the waves. Samira is afraid of the water after seeing her 2 grandparents get swept away by the river when they were escaping to Bangladesh. But after some time, she tries it and finds it fun and freeing. Soon they learn there is a surf contest coming up, and the prize is money, something they all would like to win for their families. This is book 2 of this series. Dominguita, or Dom for short, is in 3rd grade, and she and her abuela used to read books together. Now abuela has moved to Florida to live with her sister. Dom misses her so much. In the 2nd book of the series, Dom and her new friends Pancho and Steph are imitating Treasure Island, except they found a treasure map in the copy of the book at the library, a real one. Well, the treasure is money that was stolen from the grocery store in 1967, and they will absolutely return the money to the store if they find it. Dominguita, is a Cuban American. She enjoys puzzle solving, and she always wants to do what's right. This is book 1 of 7, says Amazon. The Secret Explorers. This is about the lost whales. 8 kids, each with their special expertise, make up the Secret Explorers. The first book involves Connor, a marine life expert, and Roshni, a space expert, taking a submersible to locate and redirect a pod of humpback whales to get them back on their usual route to Antarctica. They have a few obstacles to overcome, but they do not quit. And there is at least one illustration on every 2-page spread that helps carry the story along. Rusty 10 has to attend summer school since he flunked math. When he can, he spends time taking care of his sailboat. While at the dock, an old lady in a wheelchair comes up to him to talk, and then she asks for a ride in his boat. He doesn't give it to her, but he finds out her name is Hazel, and they soon become friends. She hires him to do odd jobs around her house. Every day after his morning of summer school, she gives him time to get started on his homework, and then they do something fun and interesting. Her curiosity about his day and the things they do together helps him master his homework. Finally, Rusty gives Hazel a ride on his boat, and they have a wonderful time. He has passed math and is done with summer school, so he doesn't see Hazel again until he stops by her house and finds out she's in the hospital. He manages to see her that one last time, and they relive their wonderful day of sailing. This is an advanced reader's copy, and this is the one I read, so there might be some slight differences between the book I read and how the book was actually published, just so you know that. Jake is 11, and he is sent to Deweese Island near Charleston, South Carolina, to spend the summer with his grandmother, Honey, while his mom stays in the hospital with his dad, who is slowly recovering from an IED attack. At first, he is stunned. He accidentally lost his phone on the boat over, and he discovers Honey has no TV, no Wi-Fi. Also, he is expected to do tours every day. He quickly realizes how much there is to do and learn on this special island. New friends, Macon and Olivia, are soon with him every day. And this is about the wildlife of the animal, the safety of the kids and the people and the wildlife, helping to watch for sea turtle nests. And he learns there's plenty to do outside. He doesn't need his cell phone. The author of A Wolf Called Wander now gives us a story of an orca family. Vega, an adolescent orca, and her younger brother, Deneb, are separated from their pod, and they experience an ocean tsunami out in the middle of the ocean. They are confused and lost when that's over, and finding their way back home may be impossible, but Vega is a future wayfinder for her pod, and she is determined to succeed. This is a fictional look at the lives of orcas. Translated from the Dutch, this book won several book prizes in the Netherlands. Lampie, the lighthouse keeper's daughter, has kept things running for her and her father for a while now, but she can be forgetful. The night of a bad storm, she is out of matches, and she tries to get some and fails. Lampie is sent to the Admiral's black house as a maid as her punishment, and her father is imprisoned in the lighthouse and forced to light it every night himself. His meals are delivered daily. Lampie soon befriends the monster in the house, who is actually a merboy, but he calls his tail a deformity. Over time, the people left at the house waiting for the Admiral's return come to support each other. When finally the Admiral does return, he is done with foolishness and has decided to get rid of his son. He is going to sell him. That's the merboy. But he has not encountered a determined Lampie before, and things may not go the way the Admiral wants. This is by John Sheska, so of course it's absolutely wacky and crazy. This is book 2 or mission 2, but you don't have to read the first book to read the second one. The plot is 5 animals have been in training for the inevitable, and now it seems the time has come. They are sent out to find different planets where humanity might move to because we're doing such a bad job with Earth. In book 2, they are sent to the water planet to conduct tests and determine if it will be suitable for humanity's new home. Alpha Wolf, once again, is shirking his responsibilities. President P.T. Clam of the water planet proposes that we switch planets. After taking the astronauts on a very carefully guided tour, Alpha Wolf is in favor of agreeing to the switch. Possibly bogus charts and graphs are used to support switching. But all but Alpha Wolf know that they must complete their reports before they make a decision. Will they trade planets? Are we doomed? The second title is as wacky as the first. It's goofy and fun, and I don't know if there's going to be more, but I would bet there will be. I wonder where they'll go next. Sophie, 12, is a young witch, and she is anxious to pass her audition to the Royal Magic Academy. Her self-doubt and negative self-talk may threaten her success. She is sent to Auntie for training, but is put off by all the chores she must do, with little training happening along the way. She tries a spell on her own, and it backfires, entwining herself and a young sea dragon, Lyr. Lyr is now stuck in human form, cannot change back to a dragon, and does not remember anything of his life. How will they resolve this mess? Some nonfiction for grades 2 to 5. I heard recently that Steve Jenkins passed away, and I'm so sorry for that. But this book contains their expected format with many torn and cut paper illustrations of lots of sharks, and that will attract readers. Basic information about sharks in general and some specific information about particular species is given. A number of pages show the shark's sizes compared to an adult human. It's sure to grab browsers' attention. If you put it up on display, I think it will be gone in an instant. Kate Messner has written several books in a series called History Smashers, and there's a couple of them that I was able to read that fit our category here. The first is about Pearl Harbor. It is well researched. This title and this series address the rumors associated with well-known events. Here the author begins with some background, both on World War II and Japan's place and politics in the Pacific at that time, as well as some history on Hawaii. Details of the attack and the aftermath are given, including first-person accounts of where the person was and what they saw and experienced. The main myth that is debunked is that the attack was completely unexpected. Several people had seen the signs and warned of the likelihood of an attack, and the US military leaders had considered the threat and suggested air patrols around Oahu, but those did not happen, though we don't know why. Another book she's written is about the Titanic. In this title, Messner starts with the building of the Titanic and some about its sister ship Olympic that was being built at the same time. It follows the timeline of the Titanic's maiden voyage across the Atlantic and the tragic disaster of its sinking. Some of the myths that are debunked are the number of lifeboats. Yes, it did not have enough for everyone on board, but they were not required to. It actually had 4 more than required, but still far less than was needed. Another myth is what song the band was playing while the ship sank. The fact is there were actually two bands playing different melodies. The author also covers the efforts many years later to find the Titanic on the ocean floor. It's fascinating information for any reader who wants to know more about the Titanic. This book has some interesting creatures in it. Each 3-page spread, one is folded over and opens out to reveal the actual animal. At first shows a fanciful creature and then opens up to show the real thing. There are some weird animals in the ocean. 12 strange and little known animals are offered as the strangest thing in the sea. Which will you choose? In 2002, an approximately 2-year-old female orca was spotted swimming alone in Puget Sound off the coast of Seattle. This was too strange. Female orcas stay with their mothers throughout their lives, living with their close family in a pod. Mark Sears, who follows orcas, went out to check, and yes, she was there and she was alone. How they found out who her pod was, checked her health, and planned to reunite her with her pod is all chronicled in this book. Interspersed with at least one illustration on every 2-page spread, this is an attractive, well-researched memoir of the event. And now some teen titles. Look how I'm moving along. We're going to get a break. Fiction for younger readers, for younger teens, young teens. Olivia, 13, and her older sister Ruth, who's 16, are traveling via RV with family friends back to California for a visit. Ruth has been dealing with depression, and Olivia is keeping an eye out in case Ruth goes back into the pit. Olivia is hoping to recreate the fun they had on their trip moving to Tennessee, but many things are different now. Ruth spends a lot of time listening to music on her old school iPod. Olivia has a new waterproof camera, and she loves taking pictures. Olivia is eager for Ruth and her to reach their old stomping grounds in California and dig up their treasure box that they buried 3 years ago on their favorite beach. Ruth is really not interested. Hazel, 12, and her younger sister Peach have been traveling with Mama for 2 years, ever since the accidental death of Mama's wife, Mom. Hazel was Mom's child, and Peach is Mama's daughter. They will now live in a small coastal town in Maine for the summer. Just as they are settling in, the neighbor stops by, and she is Mama's best friend from school. Hazel just wants to go home to California, and an old friend of Mama's could nix that. The friend, Claire, has a 12-year-old daughter too, named Lemon. Hazel alternates between being friendly and kind and being sharp and almost nasty to Lemon and her friends. We learned that Hazel was with Mom in the kayak when the accident happened, and she needs more help to recover from this loss and this experience. Along with loss and grief are some good times with new friends and a determined belief in the local legend, a mermaid called the Rose Maid. Love and family will bring Hazel and her family together again, right after a near tragedy. This is a full-color graphic novel nonfiction, I guess. Well, I guess it's a myth or a legend. No, she really existed. Yes, it says a graphic novel right on there, sorry. The legend of this 16th century pirate is told in a straightforward manner. O'Malley is determined and a skilled sword fighter, fighting for her native Ireland against the English. Readers of this graphic novel are likely to hunt up more information on her life and legend. So she really did live, and she became a legend. Sorry. Berkeley, 12, and her best friend Garth, about the same age, live on the ship Atlas since the oceans rose and covered the earth. They work as scavengers, diving to find whatever they can still salvage from the cities under the sea. One day, Berkeley accidentally wakes up a real sea monster. They didn't even know they existed, and it is intent on eating them both and attacking the ship. With quick thinking, Berkeley and Garth avoid being eaten and sink the monster with a heavy bag of salvage. They are surprised when a research submarine arrives and takes them on board. Getting used to a submarine and their new duties, they soon learn this ship studies sea monsters to learn how to deter them from attacking ships. But it does turn out that pirates could be worse than the sea monsters. Lewis, 12, hides in the hover car to go with his father, but now his father is forced to take Lewis along on his and his assistant Hannah's trip to Atlantis to prove its existence. Kaya, who's 14, lives in Atlantis and has always been curious about the people of the sun. Do they really exist? What is their world like? When Lewis and his father and Hannah reach Atlantis, they are considered to be invaders and are being pursued by a secret group called the Erasers. Kaya and her friend Ryan help the Sun people and guide them through the city and their seemingly unusual way of life, at least to the Sunwalkers. It's a look at how people might react to encountering strange and unexpected beings. The assumption by the Erasers that the three visitors are up to no good is eye-opening when thinking about other encounters between human beings. Max, 12, and his older sister Yala have lived in Flood City all their lives. It is the only place above water since the floods. The chemical barons circle above the earth, wanting to return. The Star Guards, big blue aliens, protect Flood City from the barons. When a baron ship attacks Flood City, all is in chaos for the night. Max encounters a wounded young baron, Ato, who's 12, and brings him home to his doctor mother. This attack starts a new revolution by the citizens of Flood City. Lots of action and short chapters keep the reader engaged. It's told from several different viewpoints. The chemical barons are overwhelmingly white, and the citizens of Flood City are primarily people of color. This is a full-color graphic novel. Morgan Kwan, 15, has a plan. Keep a low profile and leave her island home for college so that she can be completely herself, gay. She believes her friends won't understand. As the book opens, she has accidentally hit her head and fallen off the rocks into the sea. She is rescued by Kelty, who is a selfie. Morgan believes she is hallucinating and she gives Kelty a kiss. This enables Kelty to look human and follow Morgan to her house. Morgan tells Kelty they must be secret, and Morgan's friends wonder why Morgan seems to be avoiding them and spending so much time with Kelty. Concern for the environment is a subplot, as Morgan's friend Serena's parents bought a large boat for tours and they plan to go right by the seal rookery. Morgan is stiff and in control of her feelings and her life, and Kelty is carefree and loving. Oh yes, Rick Riordan, new book. Anna Dakar, almost 15, learns that she is the last in the line of descendants of Captain Nemo. He really did exist. Her school has been destroyed and only one professor and her freshman class of 20 are alive to discover why. Much of the high tech that Nemo invented or discovered is DNA coded, and Anna is needed to activate it, including the Nautilus behind them there. Adventures, discoveries, and possible betrayals keep the action moving. Now we have a couple of titles for older teens. Simidella, Simi, was reclaimed from the sea by Yamoja, who remade her as a Mamawati, a mermaid, whose task is to recover the souls of people who die in the ocean. But one day, a young man was tossed overboard. He was not dead yet, so Simi saved him. She didn't know she was breaking a promise of Yamoja's. Simi must ask the Supreme Creator's forgiveness in order to save her six sister Mamayatas, Yamoja, and herself. This task is more dangerous because Simi must find the two rings needed to summon the Creator, and the trickster god is after the rings as well. It's a wonderful mythological story with heart and determination, and in the author's note, she says the book takes place during the mid-1400s, the beginning of the slave trade. This is history, fiction, and mythology blended together, she says. It's West African mythology. And there are several creatures mentioned in the book that I then looked up online to see what they were. And they are actual creatures from West African mythology. Very fascinating. Ballora Luck, 17, has a room on the Titanic. Unfortunately, the elderly English lady she worked for and she was going to accompany passed away before their sailing. She manages to get on board and ends up pretending to be Mrs. Sloan, her former employer in first class. She's looking for her brother who's traveling in D class. Her plan is to convince him to rejoin her as acrobats. A man connected with the Ringling Brothers Circus is on board, and if they perform for him, he could get them jobs and into the US in spite of the Chinese Exclusion Act. Her brother is not interested. Plenty of adventures before the expected and unavoidable conclusion. Still, it says at the beginning of the book, of the 8 Chinese passengers aboard the Titanic, 6 survived. And before you call it done, I do have one more book just in. I just got it from the library a couple of weeks ago. Garen showed it to me. It's a picture book. It's called The Whole Whale. And it's a very fun book, rollicking, lots and lots of animals. They want to get 100 animals in this book. And so they come. I'm showing you, look how big this book is. They come, here's one line. Here comes a camel and a whale. But can we fit a whole blue whale? And that's the premise the whole time is, can they get a whole blue whale in the book? And as you read through, you learn that, I hope you can see me. I hope you can see my picture because I'm showing you that the back of the book has 2 fold outs.
Nope, we can't see it,
Oh,
Sally. You'll
okay,
have
so
to stop sharing your screen.
I'll stop. Well, where's my button? There it is. Stop share. Okay, here it is. You see how big this book is. It's a pretty big size book, and it's got lots of animals, and then it opens up. Yes, they did do it. And now it says, and now count the 100 animals if you can on this page. So it's really a lot of fun. And yes, you have 2 fold out pages, but it would be great for story time, great rhyming and all kinds of animals, a skink, a skunk, and something else, all come in. So that's my last book I'm going to talk about today. And look, it's 11 o'clock. I thought I'd go overtime.
Well, I let you start a little bit early, but it's okay because most of you around here know me. I didn't introduce myself in the beginning.
I didn't introduce myself.
Oh, well, yeah, we should do that, Sally, because I always forget what your title is. You tell us what it is. Coordinator
of Children and Young Adult Library Services.
She's the children's girl at the commission.
That's better.
What I say.
Lots of times when I'm putting my signing up for something, I put my job title in, I say Youth Services Consultant because that's faster.
It's faster.
It may not be exactly true, but kind of.
Right. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm Denise Harders with the Central Plains Library System, and I want to make sure that I didn't forget to do that. But what I'm going to do is do a little bit of an introduction. And let me see if it still thinks it's you, Sally. Let me see here.
Should I go away and come back?
No, don't go away. I'll just see if I can. Well, I wasn't going to share my screen. I was just going to make me bigger than everybody else. Because she's not sharing her screen right now. But I will just switch this back to the gallery. It's okay. What I was going to do was talk a little bit about what's in your packet, because I didn't do that in the beginning like I normally do. So I need to get the papers out here. There we go. I've got some of them. But I wanted to mention that we do have an agenda, and we're going to try and stick pretty close to it. So that those of you that are here in person and on virtually kind of know where we're at most of the time. If you have to take a little break, it's okay. We understand. But this will let you know when we have breaks scheduled. Something else that is in your packet that I want to draw attention to is Sally's list. Of course, we all just use that. Those of you who were here virtually received that either in your bag that we mailed out or emailed to you this week. That's something else I need to tell you, virtual people, is we mailed out some of the bags, but we didn't get everybody registered early enough to do that. So if you registered a little later and didn't get a bag, it's okay, because we're going to mail that to you. And those of you who did receive your bag, you're going to get an extra special surprise later, because we are going to put in the mail the instructions that Jody's going to have later in the day. So everyone will get access to what Jody is providing us this afternoon, the instructions on all her fun crafts. So there's,
I meant to say, can I interrupt a second? That last
Sure.
book, The Whole Whale, the author's last name is Yin, Y-I-N. Since you didn't get that, that's not on your list. So
yeah, so if you want that
Here I
last
am.
really cool book, it's Y-I-N.
right. Thanks.
Right. Okay, then one other thing I'm going to highlight right now is the sheet that says available die cuts. And it has pictures on it so that you can see what die cuts we have related to the summer reading theme this year. And then you get to the page that says die cut order form. And that honestly is what it is. So as you are planning your program, if you need crafts, if you need decorations, if you want bulletin board displays, because we have lots of letter shapes too. As you are aware of what you're needing, you can either put this in the mail to us or scan it and email it to us. However you would like to, let us know what you want and we'll get it out to you before your summer reading program. The cutoff date we have is May 13th. If you don't quite make that, let me know and we'll see what we can do to help you out. But this way you can get dies shapes for your program. We are doing it this way because if one library gets the whole set of dies for a couple of weeks and another library gets it for a couple of weeks, that's about it. We don't have time to move it around anymore. So we do have them here in person. So those of you who want to can cut a few, look at them, decide, you think about how many you're going to want. You can put in your order right away, or you can let us know before the middle of May. So that will be helpful. One other thing I want to talk about a little bit is Reader Zone. I know I sound like a broken record, but Reader Zone is an online record keeping system. I know some of you have had limited success with it. Others, your towns took it up with a vim and a vigor. They loved it. I know some of you have your own online record keeping system. Some of the bigger communities do. But I wanted to bring it to the forefront to remind you that it is still available. We are keeping it and you can use it in your program all year round. But in particular, I know a lot of you like to keep track of things like minutes read or books read or pages read. However you'd like to do that, Reader Zone is still available and you can do any and all of those things for summer or any time at all for the remainder of the time we have it. And as far as I know, we're going to continue to keep having it because it is something that is great for the library community. We use it in the schools, we use it in the community colleges, and of course in the public libraries as well. So Reader Zone, if you have questions about that, contact me and I will be glad to let you know. Though there is not a cost for the die cuts that you request. We don't charge for that. Kate is getting really strong because she has to wind that She winds the cutter, so we're keeping her in good shape. And usually you get things, depending on the number you request, you get them very quickly. Yeah, Sally, just like that. She's getting big and strong in her arms. You can use fun foam, cardstock, construction paper. Any of those things are available. So, and at no cost, just let us know what color you're thinking about. If we have it, we do our best to provide what it is you ask for. So just let us know. Let's see. Yeah, how do we access Reader Zone? If you have not had any use of Reader Zone yet, all you need to do is send me an email. I will put your name in as an authorized user, and you will receive an email from Reader Zone giving you your credentials. Then there will be a program set up for you. You put in the groups. You are in complete control of it. Once you email me and you get that password, you are completely in control. You decide what kind of groups you want to set up. You decide how many groups you want to set up, and you will have one 5-digit code for your program, and Reader Zone will react to that 5-digit code by letting people into your groups. I know, let me look here. I have to check our agenda. Let me see here. We have a little bit of a break coming up, but I would like to show you, I have time to show a short video about what it looks like from the patron side. Let me look and see here. I need to share my screen. And before I do that, I need to get to Reader Zone. Whoops, that was almost a boo-boo. Let's see here. All right. So now I can share my screen. Well, let's see here. Thought I'd get to it, but I didn't get to it here. There it is. All right, so now this is a section that shows you what your patrons see when they log in on their phone.
The Reader Zone. This video will show how to download the Reader Zone app, create a Reader Zone account, and then join a Reader Zone reading program, and how to manage your Reader Zone account. You can download the Reader Zone app from Google Play, the Apple App Store, or Amazon. Just search for Reader Zone and see our Reader Zone icon that looks like this. Once you've downloaded the app, click Open. When I open up the Reader Zone app for the first time, I will see this screen, and I can create my account by clicking Sign Up here. We'll enter in a first name, last name, email address, confirm that email address, and then create a password. We'll put Billy, Reader, and then an email address. We'll confirm that email address, and then we'll put a password in, and then confirm the password. Once I have my details in here the way I would like, I will click Submit. And now I have a decision to make, and that is, will this be a Reader Zone account for one reader who will log reading for him or herself, or a multiple reader account where more than one reader can be participating in this Reader Zone account. For this demonstration, we'll select multiple readers and click Next. And now I will add my first reader by clicking Add Reader. So we'll put in a first name and last name for this reader, and click Next. Now I enter the 5-character reading program code that was provided by my school or library. If you do not have a reading program code, go back to your school or library and secure it from them. For this demonstration, I will use a reading program code that will be different from the one you will use to create your Reader Zone account. It is D12F1. When I enter this reading program code, I see the list of groups or activities that are available for me to join. I can join multiple reading groups or reading activities on this screen, or I can join all of them by clicking Join All up here. Maybe I will just join this 300 minutes per month group and click Next. In this next step, I can access the book bank. The book bank allows me to keep track of the books that I am reading and the books that I have finished. To enter a book in the book bank, I can search by title, author, or ESBN in this area up here. For example, if I'm reading the book The Hobbit up here in the search area, and that will bring up a list of books that are available for me to put into the book bank. When I find the edition I would like to enter, I'll click Add Book. I can select to read this book just one time, or I can select to read a book multiple times by clicking Reread here. Maybe I'll just click Read once, and now that book is added to my book bank. I can add more books to my book bank by clicking here and entering another search term. Once I am through with the book bank, I will click Next, and we are ready to read. So I'll click Go here, and I'll land back on my Reader Zone home screen. I can see Billy Reader right here. If I would like to add another reader, I just click Add Reader here, and I can add a different reader to a completely different reading program if I would like. If I click View Reader, I will be taken to the reader entry screen for this particular reader. As I enter the app for the first time, I will see a few helper text items. I can see my reading group name up here. If I am in a reading group that is logging minutes, I will see this built-in timer. I can click play here and it'll start a timer for me. And while that ticks up, we'll show you some other items within the app. If I go back here to my book bank, I can see the books that I am reading. I can remove a book by sliding it to the left, or I can finish this book by clicking Finish Book right here. And now this ends up in the Books I've Finished area. Over here in the awards area, I can see the awards that are available to me in this particular reading group. If I have unlocked these awards, they will be nice and bright here on this page, but I have not unlocked any awards yet, so they are all grayed out at present. Let's go back to our reading entry screen, where we can see that we have read more than 1 minute. I'll click Pause, Next, and then confirm this reading entry. Now that reading entry is done, and I have unlocked a badge for having made my first reading entry. If I click OK here, it'll take me back to the reading entry screen. If I click OK again, I'm taken to the manual entry screen. If I don't want to use the timer, I just click manual entry, and I can enter in a number here. Let's say I read 15 minutes. I click Next, confirm, and now that reading entry is done. Up here in the top left of the screen are some more menu options for me. If I click this, I can see my reading progress by clicking here. This will show me all the entries I've made into my Reader Zone. You can see that I finished a book, I joined a reading group, and all the entries that I have made in my Reader Zone account. If I go back here, I can enter past reading as well. You can enter reading in the app up to 10 days past. Once I land on the screen, it'll automatically put me on yesterday's reading. But if I want to go back and make reading entries going back a little farther, I can select the day by sliding my dates up here. Maybe I read 20 minutes on May 23rd. I can confirm that. And now it's done. And I can make or edit my reading entries at any time. So if I go to my View Progress again, you can see that I have logged 20 minutes on May 23rd. I can go back here to my readers and see the readers who are part of my account. If I would like to add another reader, I just click Add Reader here at any time. Those are the basics of the Reader Zone app, and we hope you enjoy using it and logging your reading. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. So that lets you see what your patrons see when they're using their phone or their smart device, whether it's a tablet or a phone or on their lap or on their computer. I'm not sure if all of you had ever seen that before, but it helps you understand the questions your patrons might ask, as well as it gives you an idea. So you saw that whole list of groups that they could join, the 300-minute club, all of those different ones. That's what they will see. That's what you will add. You'll decide, am I going to put in summer reading for 5th through 6th grade, or activities for 1st graders? You know, you can put in whatever you want to put in as each group. So I just wanted to remind you about Reader Zone. Email me if you're interested. if you don't already have a code, or if you do have a code and you can't remember it, it's okay. I can give you your 5-digit code. I cannot give you your login and password. We'll have to go to the Reader Zone help desk, and they are very responsive. So if you have any questions about your login or password, it's an email to the Reader Zone help desk, and that's on their website at readerzone.com. So it's time for us. We do get a little extra break because Sally was so good and talked so fast. So we're going to take a break now, and we will be back at 11:30. Oh, okay. This is Ethan Boggs, and you have a flyer in front of you about Boggs Balloons, and he is going to explain all about what he does. It's a great program that he's designed for our summer reading sessions this year. All right, you're on, Ethan.
All right, thank you. And thank you once again for letting me present for you guys. I'm Ethan from Seward, Nebraska, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my balloon making business. While I do that, I'll demonstrate a few of my balloons, and yeah, and I'll start making one right now. Yeah, they're kind of loud sometimes, so I'll try and speak up. So yeah, I'm Ethan Boggs, 8th grader at Seward Middle School, which is a very nice school, I might say. And I got into the twisting business through our library, and because they gave me this book here, and my balloon has a hole in it. So yeah, they gave me this balloonology book, and that's what got me started in balloon twisting. So yeah, I started about when I was 10 years old, and I'm self-taught. I use that balloonology book and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I filled in for other balloon artists at our library, our Seward library, their kickoff party event last summer. And popping balloons. So yeah, I visited several different libraries in Nebraska, popping balloons. Yeah. And I've done presentations, like I just go up there and talk about how I like making balloons and make balloons for them. Or I can also do just like the kids get in the line and I just make balloons for them. So yeah, either way is fun for the kids and for me because I love making balloon animals. And yeah, I'm very excited to possibly be coming to your libraries or events and stuff. So yeah, oh yeah, okay. I am making a turtle right now, a little turtle bracelet. And where did my scissors go? Thank you. All right. And just like that. We have a little turtle. And I always bring my Sharpie along just to add little circles for the shell and some nice big eyes because turtles are so cute. And thank you, Riss. Doesn't hurt the turtle, but yep. And there we go. We have our little turtle bracelet. Thank you. So, I really enjoy traveling, and where's the farthest place I've been for balloons? Yeah, probably an hour away, but I like traveling, so I'm excited to visit your library. But this one had a hole in it too, so it doesn't thankfully. So yeah, I've done library parties. I celebrated an anniversary with the library, and oh yeah, lawn libraries, so I can be inside or outside, whatever works for you guys. Right now I'm making crab, so yeah. I've done birthday parties and events at churches. That happens. Balloons pop a lot. These red ones are kind of fragile. I'll make an orange crab. Okay, so yeah, I really love making balloon animals for kids, and I enjoy interacting with the kids and making special requests. Like one time someone wanted a llama, so I made them a llama. And then I made music notes and a bunch of other things. So yeah. And sometimes they don't turn out exactly how the kid's expecting, but most of the time they like it. During the library program, I make a variety of animals, and I tell jokes and some interesting facts about them. Like for a dog, I might say, like, don't drop this dog in the grass or it will turn into a poppy, like instead of a puppy. Yeah. And flamingos, I can make those and tell some cool facts about flamingos, like the reason why they are pink is because of their food, the shrimp guys. Sometimes the balloons at the end of the balloons, they just don't have any more room for the air to go anywhere, so it's kind of difficult to twist them sometimes. And so yeah, at these presentations, depending on the age of the kids, I will teach them how to make a dog balloon, and I'll show you guys how to do that step by step as well. If you have balloons, might be a good opportunity to get those out. So,
sorry, Ethan, I forgot to bring the balloons, but they'll take notes. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So take notes, and then once you guys get your balloons, then you can try it. All right. Sometimes my balloons don't. Oh, who's this little friend? It's a fishy. This is one of my fish friends, because I believe the theme is underwater, ocean of possibilities. I can't remember. So yeah, so I make fishies like this one, and we have a seahorse.
Nice.
Curly tail. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And right now I'm working on my crab. So once I get that finished. right, almost done with my crab. So at your libraries, I'll make a variety of balloons, so every kid or adult can leave with one. So yeah, I can make anything from flowers to balloon swords, balloon dogs, balloon hats even. Those are always fun. And yeah, I just really enjoy making balloons. So yes. Sometimes I get this excess balloon, so I can wrap that in. And get my special fancy white marker so I can put some eyes. And yeah. So yeah, everyone at my programs will leave with a balloon. And yeah, so everyone gets a balloon, so everyone's happy. Give it some nice, cute little eyes. And a smile, because everyone needs a smile. Here's my little crab.
He's adorable.
So
We
yeah,
love him.
there's my crab.
We love him.
Thank you. All right. Oh yeah, okay. So if I am outside at your programs, the heat of the balloons, or the heat outside sometimes makes the balloons pop easier. And like if there's grass, they can also pop with grass and stuff. So yeah, and balloons actually, if you have a smaller balloon sculpture or something, you can put it in the freezer and it will last for a longer time because balloons like the cold, I guess. I don't like the cold, but I guess balloons do. So yeah. All right, right now I'm making a fishing pole so we can try and catch another fish. I gotta get my balloon, my fishing line. Can just tie that on the end. And yeah. So yeah, I have my website. It's boggsballoons.com. And that's one of the places where you can find information about my balloon twisting business. So you can visit that and get this tied. Now we got ourselves a fishing rod so we can go catch a fish, which I need to make. Oh, looks like there's a fisher person. Better hurry. I don't know what my fastest balloon is, but probably like the dog. I can make those probably like 30, 45 seconds. Oh, yeah, just those are always quick and easy if there's a line and there's a bunch of kids. So that there. Oh, my person must be getting more bait. I better hurry. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Okay. And it's like they got a fish. I'm stealing your fishing pole. So yeah, we caught ourselves a bright yellow fish. Oh yes, okay. One more cool, interesting thing. Maybe. I think it's cool and interesting. This is my balloon sign, and I put most of my designs on here. So we got the first section up here. These are my single balloon balloons, my single balloon animals. Like we got dogs, mice, turtle bracelets, giraffe, cat, bunny, all sorts of things like that. And those are really good if there is a line, if it's a really long line, then I'll try and like convince the kids to choose from the one. Okay, and then we got our two balloons, which is a snake, which could technically be in the one because it's pretty easy, but it's in the two just because it uses two balloons. And flower, dolphin, butterfly, twisty sword, and a scepter or a wand. Oh, and a stegosaurus. Those are always fun. And we have our most complicated section yet, the free balloon. So we got monkeys and horses and hats. Those are pretty fun to make. I always like hats. And butterfly wands. So yeah, we have a pretty big selection, I might say. And yeah, not everything's on there, like my seahorse or my kissing fish friend. He's upside down. So yeah, now I'm going to teach you how to make a dog. All right, so if you have your balloon, yeah, I think I'll do it wide now. So, all right, if you have your balloon, first step, I will teach you how to make a bubble. So, a bubble is just like this. You just twist and twist and twist. Oh. Twist and twist and twist. And you got to be able to hold on to it like with 2 fingers and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's our first step. That's our bubble. Okay. And then we're going to do the ears. So this is the snout of the dog. And I'm going to make it an ear. So it kind of looks like an L. And then we're going to fold the ear and grab it like this and twist, 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 twist. So then it locks it. So that's our dog head. This is our snout and ears. And next, we're going to make the neck of the dog. That's just another bubble. Twist and twist and twist and twist and twist. And we got a neck. And next, we will make the legs. So that's kind of like the ears. Make it one leg. Twist and twist and twist and twist. So you can bend it and stuff. And then fold it back up.
Oh, I get it.
And
You
it's
lock it
backwards.
together.
What?
I get it. You lock it together that
Yeah,
way.
yep, lock it together. So right now our head's backwards, so we can just kind of just turn that around so it's facing the right way. So yeah, there's our completed. Wait a minute, we have to do the back legs. All right, so we're almost done. So this part, we're going to make, I think, about this long of a bubble. This will be the body. And of course you can like change these, like make it have really long ears or really short ears and really long legs or really short legs. All sorts of different things you can do. So we got our body bubble. Then about the same size as these legs. Bubble. So you twist and twist and twist and twist. Hold it back up. We got like this, and then we twist, twist, and twist, and twist. And of course, the more times you twist, the possibility, oh no, it popped, the better it'll stay. So its neck is a little deflated because its neck popped. So I'll just hold it there. So this is our completed dog. And if it pops, that's okay. Oh yeah, and you can draw on it. Like give it some eyes. And that's always up to you. So yeah, I'll teach the kids how to make that. It would stay together, just pop. So yeah. They usually don't pop. I don't know why these ones are popping. So yeah, here, I'll tell you a little bit about my brand, or not. So the brand of balloons I use. So I get these, they're called Qualitex, and these balloons are probably the best balloons you can get there. But I mean, other balloons will work as well. So I have like this, these balloons, and a bunch of other balloons, like just these. So yeah, blue for some reason is a really popular color in balloons. So I always have to get a bunch of those. Yeah, balloons are very loud in general. So yeah, I got 2 different brands. There's Qualitex, which work really, really well. And there's also this other one. So yeah, in the back of this balloonology book, it gives a bunch of information about balloons. So, oh yeah, there's this Batalitex. That's not it. Right there. So those are the 2 brands I usually use. So yeah, next I'm going to make a flower. Oh yes, the rule of the twist of thirds. So we have our shiny green balloon. We're going to bend it once, bend it twice, so it's in thirds, 3 sections. And they don't have to be the same. It just depends on how symmetrical you want your flower. Then you have your thirds, and then you twist them all together, and you get kind of like this shape. And you can like turn the leaves like this, or any way you like. So yeah, that's our flower stem. And next, I'm going to make the flower part of the flower. Yeah, does anyone have any questions about my balloons? If you do, you can unmute or say them in the chat.
Okay. I have about 25 people in the room with me here. And one question is, how long is your normal program? If you were at the library, how long would you be there?
About an hour, most programs, but for some libraries, I've gone like for 3 hours, just making balloons for anyone who happened. Yeah, like during an event, I would just be there and make balloons for whoever wanted one. Yeah.
Okay, and I had another question here. Is there a certain kind of balloon pump that you use?
Oh yes, so I don't know what brand it is, but I use this pump, and it's a dual pump because it pushes air out and pushes air out when you go out and in.
So
yeah,
it sucks
this
it in.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, this is the pump I always use. And then, yeah, they're okay. Some people say that using a pump is cheating, but I don't think it is, because if you've tried blowing these balloons up, it's very difficult. And if you can do it, great job. So yeah, it's very difficult. And I've attempted, it just hasn't worked. So I always use a pump.
Well, I got stuff to tell you about that. Ethan and I have been working on a plan for the Central Plains Library System. So I'll tell you about that when he's done with his.
All
Oh,
right.
I have another question for you.
Oh, yes.
When you come to the library for a program, do you bring your balloons with you, or does the library provide the balloons?
Yep. I always provide my own balloons. And I have this big basket filled with balloons. So,
Okay,
oh, and I'm not wearing it now because I'm sitting down, but usually I'm wearing this. It's like a tool belt filled with balloons. So yeah, I always will provide my own balloons.
oh, well, that's a good question.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good question.
The youngest age, how young do you go?
Like preschool, mature enough to be not running around or being crazy the entire time. But I mean,
And not
that's all
biting
right.
the balloon. We don't want them to bite the balloon.
Oh
so,
yeah, that yeah. Don't
Clean it
bite the
up.
balloon.
Yeah. But that's a
Okay.
cute flower.
Yeah, I made my little flower. And again, you can tell the joke. Don't let this daisy fall on the ground because then it will turn into a poppy.
A
Yep.
poppy, yeah. I got
Yep.
another question here, Ethan.
Yeah.
They're asking in general, if someone were to just go on your website and
Mhm.
ask you to come, what is your cost for a program? Now, you and
Okay,
I know
so-
we've got some plans going, so don't
Yeah,
give
we
those
got-
out, but
Yeah, we got our plan. So
in general,
yeah, in general, and of course I can negotiate and stuff. So in general, it's $20 to $25 an hour. That includes travel time and yeah. So if I'm going somewhere an hour away, that's $25. And then if I'm staying there for an hour, that's 25 or that's 50. Then an hour back, so it'd be 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good to know, but like I
Yeah.
say, I'm hanging out here. Is there somebody in the chat bubble here? Let me see if somebody has a
Yeah.
question.
If anyone else has any questions, you can say them in the chat.
Yeah.
And when I teach you guys how to make the balloons, where did my balloon? Oh yeah, my balloon dog popped. But that for that age, it's usually like 8 to 10 or 8 and older ish. So yeah.
That's your normal age group that you work with is
Well,
8.
So that's the age group that I'll teach balloons for.
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
misunderstood.
but anywhere from like three
Yeah.
and up, something like yeah.
Yeah, we agree. 3 is probably a good cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I mean, like, if there's like a mom with a baby in a baby stroller, that's they can watch, but careful with get balloons at your own risk.
Right.
What is the hardest animal you've have made so far?
Yeah,
Well-
Sally's wondering what's the hardest thing you've done?
Okay, that is a good question. Stegosauruses are kind of difficult, but most of them are difficult just because you're putting so much balloon in a little space. So the stegosauruses are kind of hard to make. These ones are kind of difficult, just like time wise. Flamingos, those are okay. Those are kind of so. Maybe I will make a flamingo right now. Yes.
Oh, they want to know if you've ever tried making a sloth.
Oh, okay. That is a new one. I haven't heard that suggestion yet. But yeah, once I come to your libraries, I can definitely if you have any suggestions for things you want me to learn, I can, if you say those in the chat, I can definitely learn how to make most animals. So yeah, I haven't made a sloth, but that would be pretty cool to learn. So yeah, I'll try and find something on how to make a sloth. Sure. All right. So I will make the The flamingo. Whoa. Flamingo now.
Yeah.
Have you created any animals that didn't? Okay, yes. So I have, the question was, have you created any animals that you didn't have directions for? I have, like, I made this llama once, and that one I didn't have any instructions for. It was a llama, but it was a llama, but it wasn't a llama that had a design. So yeah, I have done those. So yeah, yes to that. Yeah, I take special orders. I have another question here. We have kids who love squids. Have you done this? I have not done squids yet. That's a new one, but I have done octopus.
Oh, that'd be great for this summer. Yeah.
Yes, it would be. Okay. I'm going. Yes, I'm also working on a stingray design for the summer. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And very loud. Close enough. All right. Yes, I will learn how to make a squid because it's probably just like an octopus, but like with like the triangle kind of things on the side of the squid, you know? I don't know what they're called. So yes, I will make the flamingo. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, you can let me know. Oh, dolphin, I'm listing on my ocean creatures. So I can make dolphin, turtle, fish, crab, seahorse, octopus. I'm learning stingray and squid. Squids are so cool. What else? Oh, I'm gonna try and learn how to make like a shell, like a seashell. That might be kind of cool. So yeah, there's a bunch of sea creatures, and I'll try and learn a lot of them for you guys.
Yeah, and somebody hollered out jellyfish, so that'd be kind of like
Ooh, yeah. Yes, write that down here. Yeah, that would be really fun to learn. I don't know how it would work, but I'll give it a shot.
all right.
Has he ever done a penguin? Ooh,
about a
yeah, a shark
penguin?
might be kind of fun.
Or a penguin. Have you done a penguin? Somebody wanted to know.
Yeah, penguin might be fun too. Yes, good ideas. Keep them coming, you guys. All right, almost done with my flamingo.
Yep, and then we'll tell them about. I'll tell them about our surprise. Okay, after you show the flamingo, I'll tell
All right,
them.
almost done with my flamingo.
I'm looking at him. I saw a little bit there.
All right, just a second. Okay, yeah, that was kind of a difficult twist because there's just a bunch of air there.
Oh, another suggestion came on the chat. It was a whale.
How about a whale? That would also be cool to learn. I have not done that, but yeah, it's probably kind of similar to the dolphin. So yeah, the dolphin is actually it can also do here's the dolphin. And it can also be it's a dolphin or a swordfish. There.
Oh,
So yeah,
with a longer nose. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, a whale would be kind of fun to learn. All right, just gotta make the legs to my my flamingo. And then that's it, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be great. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you for letting me present for you guys again. Right. Oh yeah. So with younger kids especially, I'll try and make it interactive for them. Like if I was making a monkey, I would say stand up and do a monkey dance and try and make the monkey sound. And they hopefully they would all stand up and start going.
Yep,
Stuff like
that's what they do. I agree.
Yep. And
Yeah, make a fish face. We think you should tell them to make a fish face.
oh yeah, fish face. That is a good idea. Okay, let me just get rid of this extra balloon. Tie it off. And we got a
Look at there,
flamingo.
it's huge.
There we go.
Wow, it's huge.
So yeah, there's our flamingo.
Well, that's terrific. Well, what you guys are going to be excited about is that we've been in conversations, and we have a whole week of Ethan's time scheduled in June for him and his family to be in Central Plains Library System. So yeah, I've got clapping going on here. And we handed out those sheets so you could let us know when you're open, because some of our libraries are smaller, so they're not open every day. Like in Seward, they're open every day, but some of our libraries are smaller than that. So let us know what day you're open, and we're going to make clusters of programs. And Ethan is going to do more than one program a day, and they're going to spend a week, he and his family, learning all about Central Plains Library System and the area that we cover. So, I mean, from Valentine to Red Cloud. I think you probably know Red Cloud. You've been there?
Yeah. All
You
right.
got some family in Red Cloud, I understand.
Yep.
So, but across the whole central part of the state, they're going to be here. And Central Plains Library System is going to provide that as a program. So it won't cost the libraries anything. So yeah, so we're making those clusters. We're going to get that ready so that they can make their summer vacation plans. Except Ethan won't be on vacation because he's going to be working like crazy with balloons.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Us too. This will be
Yeah.
great fun. All righty. Well, thank you so much. Oh, look,
Yes.
we've got people saying, hey, we want to see you, Ethan. Thank you. There's in the chat and here in person as
Yeah.
well. So,
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yep, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. See ya. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon. And yes, thank you.
Yep, you're gonna get to see a bunch. All righty. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And I'm gonna we're gonna have lunch here in Broken Bow. So I'm gonna stop the recording. We will be back at 1 o'clock. For those of you on virtual, we'll be back at 1 o'clock. No, I want to pause it.
Nebraska. So yeah, we're excited to talk to you about these materials and resources today.
All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen, and then Grace will take over about halfway through or so. Do this and then reshare. Okay, you see the big version, right? Okay, perfect.
Yes, that's
All right.
perfect.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we have to offer for your oceans of possibilities. I know we don't have oceans in Nebraska, but that doesn't mean that we don't have cool things to offer you. And Grace is going to talk a lot about more of the aquatic side of stuff that we have as far as those specific resources. But I'm going to talk a little bit about just in general, what do we have to offer you? All right, so a lot of people know that Game and Parks is where you go to buy your hunting and your fishing licenses, but that's usually, or you go to a state park, and those are usually the three things that people right off the bat think about. But we do a lot more than that. We have a lot of ecological education. And if you talk to people in our agency, education has grown a lot, especially in the past like 5-10 years. And so we have a lot more things that we offer people now besides hunting and fishing licenses or a state park permit. So what do we mean when we say ecological education? Well, it's a lot more than just teaching people that conserving our land and preserving our land is a good thing. It's rather why we do this and what's the core values and our mission and our vision that we really want to get out. So looking at those systems, and they reflect as far as like patterns and those principles of ecology. So again, a lot of people think we just hunt and fish and do other stuff, but we have a lot of cool things at Game and Parks as far as education goes. So we have everything from like our NASP program, which is Nebraska or National Archery in the Schools program. We do family fishing nights. We do something called BOW, which is Becoming an Outdoors Woman. It's a whole program within Game and Parks dedicated to getting women outside. And we also do things like Grace will talk about trout in the classroom. We have community science. We do family nature camps. So there's a lot of different things when we talk about what education looks like at Game and Parks. It's not just get your hunter education course done so you can go hunting. There's a lot of other things that we do as well. So what can we give you? So we have a ton of resources, materials that are all those interdisciplinary lessons, and they support science teaching as well. So we are not going to stand here and talk to you because we are not formally trained educators as far as classroom educators, but we are here to help you kind of supplement some stuff that you might already be doing or give you some really cool ideas about things that you might not even know existed. So we want to help you meet state standards. We want to help you meet learning objectives. And I know you're not teachers as well, but you care about those things and you want your students to learn and your people in your public to learn as well. So one of the things we do a lot of, and I think we just got a date set, I think Autumn and I and Grace have been talking about doing an aquatic wild workshop here, I think in March. So we train formal and informal educators in hopes that they will take this information given in these curricula guides back to their classrooms to again supplement what they're already doing or giving them these really cool ideas that they can use as far as wildlife and wildlife management and aquatics and animals and plants and adaptations and all of these really cool things in their programs already. So what does an educator workshop look like? Well, we have a part of it, we do lots of it, but there's a part of a national program called Project Wild. So Project Wild is a national program. It's been going on since like the 80s. It was started in Nevada, and about every single state has what we call a coordinator. So I'm the coordinator for Nebraska. And so Project Wild started as this tiny little pamphlet of about 6 activities. And now it has grown. So I have this book here with me. As you can see, there's a little bit more than 6 activities in here now, but it's a very cool guide. It's a hands-on, minds-on curriculum for K through 12, formal and informal educators. It talks a lot about interdisciplinary lessons. So you're going to talk about social studies and science and math and language arts and English and all these different things while still focusing on those science learning objectives and those science state standards. Well, Project Wild was super popular. People loved it. And so out stemmed Aquatic Wild. So this is probably what you're most interested in, just dealing with your Oceans of Possibilities theme. So Aquatic Wild is very similar to Project Wild in that it focuses on animals and plants and the aquatics, but it's mostly just that water side of it. So it talks about habitats and environmental issues, but mostly again relating to that aquatic or water side. Again, it's a fairly good sized book as well. And one of the things that I love about Project Wild and Aquatic Wild is that they are very connected to each other. So if you see a Project Wild activity that you absolutely love, there's more than likely there's an extension to an Aquatic Wild. So here's this activity and here's how you can change it to make it water themed or aquatic themed. And Grace will talk a little bit more, I think, about those activities too. Something else that we also have is, like I said, Project Wild became extremely popular. It is a K through 12 activity guide, same with Aquatic Wild, but people wanted something more for the littles. So outstemmed Growing Up Wild. So this one is specifically written for ages 3 to 7, and it features a hands-on nature-based activities, but getting them those very, very early observation skills and art and conservation and reading and science and math connections, just at that very, very young level. And it also focuses on things like social and emotional and cognitive domains as well. So it's state standards, it's written by a bunch of teachers, and also those educators and conservationists came together as well. So it's a great, great guide. This one's a little bit smaller. But it is tons of activities within each other activity. All right, there's also Flying Wild. This one's about a 5th through 8th grade guide, but it could be anyone. We've had elementary, we've had high school, college people use these as well. This one focuses mostly on birds. So talking about adaptations and migrations and really focusing those environmental education and concepts on birds. And here's what that guide looks like as well. Fairly large as well. And then we also do advanced training. So if you're like, those sound great, but I want something else, here's some things that we have done in the past. We've talked about mammals and amphibians and pollinators and bats and monarchs and all these different things. These are just some of them that we have done. Grace and I did a nature journaling workshop last year, and it was really successful. And we're doing another one here at Shram Education Center in Gretna in June. So we do lots of different types of things, all relating to that conservation world. And then we also have some supplemental like physical materials that we can send you or give you. You might be familiar with Trail Tales. If you're not, you might be familiar with Nebraska Land magazine. So that's Nebraska Game Parks kind of magazine that we put out about every single month. So this is the 4th grade version of Nebraska Land. So they're called Trail Tales. We do 4 every single year, school year, fall, winter, spring, and summer. It is specifically catered to 4th grade reading levels and 4th grade classrooms. So each classroom within the Nebraska, each 4th grade classroom receives 4 Trail Tales yearly. That's about 32,000 Trail Tales. And each of these concepts talks about things that are science related, food webs, animal adaptations, ecosystems, but then we also talk about things like outdoor sports like archery as well. And then there's also things like puzzles and games, and then full color photos. So here's a couple of past Trail Tale articles. You can see kind of what they look like, but again, they are catered to that 4th grade. Oh, here's Perfect Fish Anatomy. This is what they look like. So they're very bright and colorful, and tons of good information about Nebraska specific issues and conservation stuff. All right, we also have biodiversity posters that we have. We have 7 of these posters. They look just like this, and each one is a different theme or topic. So we have plants, threatened and endangered species, insects, fish, mammals, birds, that kind of stuff. On each of them, we have the top 25 kind of most recognized animals of that group in Nebraska. And then the idea was that we have them on here, and then on the back, every single one is just a little information about it. So how big is it? What do they eat? Where do they live? What do they look like? That kind of stuff. So they look different. They're different colors for every single one. And we, again, have 7 of them. So that is something that you can use as well. If you're interested in threatened and endangered species, you can go to our website here and look at our, it says 17, I still need to update this. We have 30 of them now. So every single threatened and endangered species, we have the information online. We have range, diet, what do you look for? Clearly plants don't eat, so we have a diet for that one, but the management and outlook, how can you help, that kind of stuff. So you can go through our website and look at all 30 of those pamphlets as well. If you are someone that likes physical things, we do have those physical copies as well, or you can go online and print them off on your own too. And then we also have a matching game with tracks. This is what it looks like. So this is kind of the guide, and every single page has animal on it from Nebraska. It has the front foot, the back foot, and then a little information about that animal. And then the idea is that students will use these track cards to match to find each other. So each card has a front foot, a back foot, and then a photo of the animal. And the idea is that you match them all together, and then you can check your answers in your guide that you get as well. So those are kind of a package deal that are fun to talk about animals and mammals in Nebraska. And then something that's very similar to Trail Tales, but it's a little more topic specific, is we have our what we call ology magazines. Not very scientific. There's no such thing as pollinatorology, but it sounds cool. So we have these different magazines that are specifically related to a certain topic. So here we have pollinatorology, we have amphibianology, we have a reptileology, a mammalogy one. And again, very similar to Trail Tales, written at about a 4th grade level. And they have different activities within every single article that relate to that topic. So for instance, here's a box turtle in our reptileology one. It talks about box turtles, and then down here is a way, can you help find the mom, get her back to her nest, that kind of stuff. So these are free for you guys to pick up and use, and they are really good resources to have as well. And then just a few other things, and I'll turn it over to Grace. I won't talk a lot about this because I know Grace has some stuff she wants to mention too, but we do have free education trunks and kits that you can check out. Within the state of Nebraska, we have 9 different locations. So hopefully somewhere close to you, you can find one of these. Probably the closest one for you guys would be either Norfolk or Omaha or Lincoln. So they're free trunks. We have like a mammal, bird, a prairie. We have binocular kits that you can check out. And again, there are hands-on activities in here. There's specific activities pulled from things like Project Wild that relate to that theme. So mammals, birds, prairies, that kind of thing. These are the different ones that we have. So if you go to our website, I can put it in the chat here in a second. You can find all this information. And then if you click one of those blue bars, it will tell you an inventory list of every single thing that's in that trunk. So if you want to talk about beavers, you can check and see if there's stuff about beavers in the mammal trunk. There is. And then you know. And then here's all of our locations. Not every location has every single trunk. I just want to point that out. But again, hopefully within an hour, hour and a half, 15 minutes of you guys, you can find a trunk. And then one last thing is we have our larger resource, our Nebraska Outdoor Trailer. So this is a 6-foot by 10-foot trailer that you can take for free and check out for free and use it. It's kind of a package deal. We have 13 different activities in here to basically do like a big festival or a camp or something like that. So each activity is in a big bin. It's all labeled. It has everything you need to do that activity in there. And then we also have things like easy up tents and plastic folding chairs, and we have markers, and we have station signs. So everything you really need to do this big activity or this big festival or something that you're using. So we only have 4 of these. So we have one in North Platte, Lincoln, Scottsbluff, and Norfolk. So very similar to the trunks. You just call and say, hey, is the Lincoln trunk available or the Lincoln trailer available for June 5th through 9th? Okay, it is. Great. Here's the way that you come pick it up. You come pick it up, you use it, and you bring it back. Very, very simple. All right, we do have a little programming. We do COVID pending and time pending as well. We have done programs where we come in and talk about things. We've done programs like live animals, like reptiles and amphibians. We've done habitats, or we've done things like owl pellet dissections, but they are very limited. And with COVID, we're being just kind of very cautious about that. And then I think that's it. And that was 15 minutes. That was really fast, but I'm going to let you go ahead and listen to Grace now. She has some really good information to share about kind of specific aquatic resources.
All right, hold on one second. 2 monitors sometimes, because I want it to be on this screen. So let's see. Okay, let's see if I can get this. All right, can you see that, Monica? Okay, perfect. All right, so yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about more specifically aquatic resources that we have. As you can see, we already have a lot of things going on in terms of resources. And so hopefully these will also help you just kind of know how could you tailor something to be especially aquatic specific. So like Monica mentioned, we have these Project Wild based curriculums. So there is one that's specifically called Aquatic Wild. And again, it's filled with lots and lots of activities. And so we did schedule an Aquatic Wild virtual edition coming up March 8th, I believe. So I'm sure they'll send you more information about that, but we're excited just to be able to, what we'll do is lead you through some of the activities that you can find in that curriculum. So you maybe will feel a little more comfortable presenting those on your own. These are really great curriculum to use in after school settings, and definitely I think libraries can use them in kind of a unique way too. So definitely sign up for that. It's going to be a good workshop. And as you can see, there's lots of different topics in there, and it's tailored to all different age levels. So if you're doing programming for like preschool, there's maybe a couple things in there, and then there's stuff all the way up for like high school level. So lots of different options for you to consider as you think about how you might implement those in your own library. And so then we also have other educator workshops that are focused on water. Sometimes I can lead one of these. I haven't done a lot of them, but through Project Wet, it's a different curriculum that we don't necessarily coordinate all the events for. The Nebraska Forest Service and their conservation education people do that, but I could certainly lead a different workshop that's associated with those as well. So they have equally large sets of curriculum. There's one called Healthy Water, Healthy People, Wonders of Wetlands, and they're all kind of different ones tailored to different age groups. So that website on there can take you and show you some of the upcoming workshops they might already have happening. I know right now a lot of things virtual, which I know is not always ideal, but it is nice in terms of travel. We can all connect a little bit better. So keep those in mind. We also have, as you can see in the picture on there, there's like Discover Stormwater, I think. So yeah, and we have like Nebraska watersheds, and so we have those are small, kind of like those Trail Tale magazines, and so I could definitely mail some of those to you if you were interested in having those to hand out to different people. And then, as Monica mentioned, I am the state coordinator for Trout in the Classroom. If you've never heard of this program before, it started on the East Coast, and also some states like California do salmon in the classroom. So it's a really cool program where we try to connect students to their watersheds through raising fish in their classroom. So actually, like 2 weeks ago, we just sent out all of our trout eggs that came in the mail, and we have about 91 schools participating in this program across Nebraska alone this year. So it's definitely a really fun program that is hands-on, and they do a lot of water quality testing, and they get to do fish dissection if they want to. And so I did actually last year have a North Platte library do this program for a little while, and they got together some really cool events kind of for their community by hosting the tank in their building. I've also had libraries within schools keep the tank in there instead of a specific classroom, and that's a really cool way to just kind of incorporate people in there. So there are some costs associated with when you set this up. There's a chiller that you need to keep the water cold. So just keep in mind this does cost some money to do, but we also have scholarships that we usually offer. June through August, we have an application period. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, just feel free to contact me after this, but it's a fun program. We also have, related to those trunks that Monica was talking about, we have one specific to aquatic habitats. So it's called the Aquatic Ecology Trunk. And it's it has like a bin with books, kind of protect them in case they don't get wet. But those have those different types of books. We have some even in Spanish, but yeah, it's life cycles of mosquitoes and just different related, water habitat books. And then we even have different guides, because the whole purpose of this trunk is to actually go outside with it if you can, and use those nets and magnifiers and scoops and bins to see what kinds of aquatic insects you can find. And you can collect them and then you kind of do an assessment and try to identify them, because eventually when you look at what you found in that water system, it can tell you the health and quality of the water, because certain species can withstand more pollution and others can't stand much. So it's a really fun activity. I know that might be challenging for some of you, but if you're close to water or you're planning to do an event near water this summer, this is a great thing that you can check out. Again, we've got, I think I think I have this trunk at like 5 or 6 locations, and it's on our website. So if you're interested in checking that out, definitely go on our website. Yeah, there's all the sites: Omaha, Lincoln, Kearney, Norfolk, Valentine, and Scottsbluff. So we try to spread things out as best we can so it's accessible. And yeah, all the tools are in there. There also is a nice binder that has some activities that are similar to maybe some of the ones you might find in Aquatic Wild. So just a good resource. Another thing that we've been working on, so it's not quite done yet, but we have a giant wetlands outreach and education project we've been working on. And about, gosh, I think it's been 10 or 15 years ago, they created this guide for the public about Nebraska's wetlands. And they also made a kids version, like through a Trail Tales magazine that was all about wetlands. And so what we're doing is going in and updating a lot of these resources, capturing video. If you're familiar with Platte Basin Time Lapse, they're an awesome organization that really showcases Nebraska's watersheds. And so we're working with them and they're capturing video, and essentially we're putting all this stuff together to create new resources that are updated for today's audience. And we'll have a new kids magazine called Wetlandology. Again, about 4th, 5th grade level. We'll have a lot of resources for adults. We'll have a lot of videos, which will be cool. So just know that this is coming up. The grant is wrapping up in September of this year. So watch for that online, because there'll be just a lot of cool ways you could possibly use that or direct people at least to it. This one, I don't do a lot of the coordination or anything, but we do have a Fishing in Nebraska Schools program that is run by Larry Pape, who also works for Nebraska Game and Parks, and he does a lot more of the fishing education. So this is a great toolkit that you can use. It usually has some different equipment that comes with it. You can get trained to be a youth fishing instructor, which gives you access to a trailer full of fishing equipment. So say again, you're doing a big event near water. It's a way to get fishing poles on site, and you can also always contact Larry. He loves, I think, helping with events that are related to fishing. So his email is right there. And then a couple other fish related resources. We have a nice little like Fishes of Nebraska booklet. So that's kind of a fun thing that we have on hand that you could use as a handout. We also have these little coloring books that are based on, wetland animals and mostly fish. So it's got a lot of cool fish illustrations in there. And also coming up in March, if you haven't heard, I think it's Wildlife Forever. Yeah, they do something called the State Fish Art Contest. And this is where students kind of they can write something about a fish of their choosing, and then they have to create a piece of artwork displaying that fish. And then the process is pretty simple. There's just a PDF you download, and you can send your artwork in and be entered into the State Fish Art Contest. So it is across the United States, but we have a Nebraska specific competition, and they would be entered into both. There's a lot of great things out there, and this one is coming up in March for the deadline. So if you want to, get your community excited about, water areas and fish, this would be a great thing to kind of put out there on social media and encourage them to submit artwork. And then one of our last things, we just have a Game and Parks YouTube channel with a lot of educational content on there. Monica has some really great conservation career chat videos where she talks to different people with different professional roles within our agency. And one of them is even an aquatic invasive species guy. So there's some really cool things on this video content wise. And we also have recorded education programs on there. So definitely check that out. And with that, that's pretty much everything that we have. This is what our main homepage looks like, I think, when you go to wildlife education on the Game and Parks website. So we've got tons of resources, and there is our contact info. So please feel free to reach out to us, because we're here to help you. I don't know if Monica, you have anything else you want to add?
I don't. Does anyone have any questions or anything that we can help answer? I think we got about a couple minutes left. I did put some links in the chats too. If you would like to look at them, there's one for like our trunk information, one about Project Wild, and then one about, just like Grace said, our main wildlife education page on there too.
When a library borrows some of the things, is there a cost? Do you mail them out, or is there a postage, or how does that work?
Sorry, I had my thing on mute. I couldn't hear half of what you said. Something about a cost, and do we mail them out?
I heard you. She asked if there was any cost to, like, if we mail them resources, and there's not. Yeah.
Nope, there's not. If you do any of our Project Wild, Aquatic Wild, Flying Wild, Growing Up Wild, they are all free to everyone that isn't anyone that wants to come take one. The only thing that we ask is that you either virtually or in person, you attend the whole class to get those resources. So Growing Up Wild, and I think Aquatic Wild individually is about 2 hours long. We are doing some virtually now, and hopefully we can do some more in person. But then we will not cost you anything. We do an evaluation, a Survey Monkey evaluation at the very end, where we get like your name and your address, and then we send you your book and your certificate and a fun prize as well.
And I had some interest in the art, the contest. Is there an age limit, or how is that done?
That's a good question. I believe it's K through 12. I can really quick pull up the link for that and put that in the chat. Or we can send you an email with the link to all of that.
Okay, and I believe that we're gonna do, this is just a small sample. I know you guys did the fast version of all of the things that you do. We are going to have a longer program with you, so that in February, March 8th. Okay, yeah, my assistant's hollering at me. It's March 8th.
Yep.
That and so these librarians may be interested in knowing that, because we're just getting that set up. But on March 8th, there'll be much more detailed information from these folks at Game and Parks.
Yep, and that's a great opportunity to ask us really specific questions too, and how to use certain materials.
Mm-hmm. That's why we wanted to get you for a little bit longer when we had more time.
And also, if you are on Facebook as well, please follow us on Facebook. We have a lot of our events that we have going on. We put some fun facts on there. We let you know if it's National Raccoon Day or something like that, and some activities that you can do. So we have an Instagram as well, and then our wildlife education Facebook too. So follow us on there.
All right. So that's fun. Okay, anybody else? And just know March 8th, more details. No, it's coming through. It'll come out through us in our next newsletter on February 1st. Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us all that in the fast version.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Okay, so now we're coming up to, yeah, we just knew that it's good to have a taste of what they do, but there is so much that they do with those kits and trunks and trailers. And I mean, you could have a whole festival in the park and without much cost at all. So it's good to be aware of all those things.
We borrowed the trailer twice for the team group and to take pictures.
Uh-huh.
They had like 30 rods and all the gear, everything was complete in that trailer.
And it was nice, like you say, it wasn't like it was just.
No, it was beautiful. Yeah, and they even had like rods to practice casting. Like they were complete on the airport practice for kids who had never tried it before. The only thing we ran into was like 16 for like the day. If you have kids that are over 16.
16 years old, you need a fishing license in Nebraska. Don't get caught without it, because the game warden will get you. So,
There are a lot of those family fish nights too in a lot of communities. I think
right, then they do like a blanket thing. Yeah,
you could even do
like family fish nights. You can make arrangements with Game and Parks to do that. And we can talk to them about that when we see them again on the 8th. So, well, we're coming on to share time here, and Miss Jody will be here real soon. She's here, but she'll be on real soon. But we wanted to do a little bit of share time. We have, first off, I'll start. I'm gonna start just because I can, right? In your packet, there are instructions for an angelfish, and this is the angelfish. You use colored popsicle sticks. Let me see here if I can put it up here if it's bigger. Well, let's try speaker view. So I don't know if I can get myself a speaker. See, it thinks Sally is the speaker.
I'll
Nope.
even come back. That might do it.
Oh, well, I don't know here. There I am. Okay. Sally, if you're still here, it's fine. You can stay. But this is a little angelfish. And in your packet, it's made out of colored popsicle sticks, glue dots, a googly eye, and whatever sparkles or glitters you might have. Or if you'd like, we will be glad to send you a kit with enough materials for however many children you might have. So this is what the system's offering this year, and we will provide supplies if you want to make angelfish, because we have so many baubles, like pretty little glitters and things. You never know what it's going to be. And in your packet, in your folder, is the sample of what you would possibly get. Of course, lots of different sparkles. So that way you can see how it goes together, know if it's something you want to do. See, I keep having him swimming downwards here. He needs to be swimming this way. And like I say, the instructions are in the packet. Be sure and let us know enough time ahead that we can get these to you. See, these are children prepared. So then something else, Autumn, I know we had another, she didn't bring me one of those pictures that Joy had. There we go. Joy in Ravenna put up a display to start focusing on summer reading. And she can tell us what's all in it. I see pool noodles. I see deco mesh. Here, you'll have to come this way, Joy, so you can be.
The coral that you see, the blue and red like coral. So what that is I use butcher paper and put it down, and then I use the expanding spray foam from the hardware store, and I just sprayed it on.
We can't hear her.
Okay, well, yeah, well, here she comes. Here she comes. I was gonna repeat, but here we go. Here, get around on this side, and then they'll be able to hear, and I'll be able to hold it up here.
So the blue and red coral that's back there, that is the expanding foam from like the hardware section. And I laid it down on, I sprayed it on butcher paper, and then I put like a paint stick on it. So then it's just shoved into a box. And that's what's underneath. They're just cardboard boxes covered with brown paper and tissue paper, sea anemones. The reef is like the mesh that I got at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, the deco mesh.
Yep, and I just cut that in pieces and then twisted it with pipe cleaners and then stuck it in. And then pool noodles, those circle coral that stacks up, and the seaweed, it's all pool noodles. So I think that's everything.
Yeah, and you had Nemo. You must have had a stuffed animal or something, huh?
My son went as a sea anemone for Halloween about 5 years ago with balloons, like the balloon animal balloons, and he carried Nemo with him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, so that's on display in Ravenna behind Joy's desk, that so people will say, what's with the ocean? She can say, that's summer reading. Come and enjoy. Okay. Now, so that there's the trick. Anybody who wants to share, if you're virtual, you'll need to unmute yourself and talk. Or if you're here in person, we're glad to have you come up and talk from here. In your packet, you'll see virtual aquariums. There's lots of them that have these cams. They don't cost money. You just look at them. You can log in anytime and look at the jelly cam or the kelp forest cam. And this is just a sample. There's so many out there. And then, of course, the Henry Dorley Zoo does field trips. Those are not free, but if you have programming money, which a lot of you do due to the ARPA funds, you may want to consider having a virtual field trip to the Henry Dorley Zoo. We also put in a little flyer from the Fish and Wildlife folks. But what else do we have? What else do we have to share here? Anybody want to come up and talk about what they're doing? I know there's lots of great ideas out there. Because you guys are always, yeah, everybody's looking down right now, in case you're wondering. How about you guys? Anybody? Here, I will remove my spotlight. And, oh, Annie, are you going to talk? Do you have something for us? Nope. Okay. How about no more share things, huh? I better look at my calendar or look at my agenda to see where we're at. Okay, we're at 1:40. Let me double check the chat, make sure I didn't miss anybody's share in the chat. Oh, Annie says not yet. She hasn't even had time to start thinking about it. She's starting after today because she's got great ideas from here. They borrowed 2 trunks in Gibbon though last year and the kids really loved it. So it's something that you can use and enjoy, it sounds to me like. Okay, well it is, oh yeah, my thing's moving. I don't want to make everybody sick here. Okay, Deb out in Scotts Bluff is wondering, does anyone have ideas for presenters to come and visit this summer? I can usually get them to Scotts Bluff if they can visit sites across Nebraska. I don't know. Have you guys lined up any presenters? Is anybody thinking of anybody? I know it's been hard to line up presenters, Deb, because nobody's sure if they're gonna do stuff in person. Yeah, a suggestion is the colleges, if they have any programs involved in water life, or we do love the theater programs. I don't know. I heard about a guy. What was that pirate's name? Are you guys getting all those emails from the pirate guy? Who are you guys coming? Who's coming to Hastings? Captain Kidd. Oh, Jennifer and Arapahoe. Oh, Toby Teaches is the pirate guy that I know of, and he's booked in Arapahoe, Deb. So that's halfway across the state. Edgerton Raptor program is what they have lined up for the kickoff in Atkinson. That the Raptor program is really cool. Edgerton, it's part of the, is it part of Edgerton Explore It Center? But yeah, and you have something to share, Wanda? Okay, Wanda has something to share.
It's just, we found this on Pinterest and we thought it was really cute. They're just blue colors of birthday hats.
Yeah, well, here,
And
we'll
they
it here.
put a little shark's tooth around and a shark tail on the top and some eyes and made a little shark hat. So if you're having like a shark week, they're kind of cute. And then the buoy line and the fish, the system has the big buoy die cut. So you could make those really easily. They're just the die cut, and you cut them in half so that they're red and white. And then hang your big fish for decorations.
Well, that's cool. Thanks, Wanda. That's Wanda from Ainsworth.
It was Gail's, but she didn't want to come up.
It was Gail's idea. All right. Well, I would say we're gonna. Well, I didn't because I thought they all had them, but I missed the. Okay, so Autumn's wondering, she wanted to make sure. Okay, so, oh, whoops. Make it so you can see here. Okay. First off, I already mentioned the CAMs, but on the back side of that sheet is educational materials. And there's things from National Geographic, Nautilus Live, Ocean Exploration, PBS. Oh, PBS is always great resource. The Smithsonian. All kinds of different materials. And it's on the back side of the virtual aquariums. Are these all free resources on them? Everything on this sheet is a free resource. So that's good to know. Okay, so Toby's contact information. I can get that for you, Deb, because the man has a massive email program and I have tons of his emails. Brenna? You. Okay.
Anybody else wants to, they get a discount if you can get 2 within 60 miles of each other in one day. And then it's just $365 for the day. He doesn't have
Okay. So Toby,
he's like a comedian.
he does magic tricks, he does comedy, he's just a variety show.
He told me he has a peg leg.
So he's a pirate and he has constructed a peg leg and he is coming to Broken Bow on May 25th. And if it's within how many miles of Broken Bow? 60 miles of Broken Bow, you can get a discount on his rate down to $365. So you need to be within 60 miles of Broken Bow and need to want him to be here on May 25th. And then he will do that discount deal. So Deb, if we get you the information, oh, there's the website. It's www.tobyteaches.org. tobyteaches.org. And then he would do, I'm sure he does the same deal for wherever he can get clusters of presentations. So that's in the chat, Deb, that link that Jennifer has him in Arapahoe. He's also coming to Broken Bow. So if you're close to either one of those or want to work with your close libraries and both want Toby the pirate to come. Jennifer, can you tell us when he's in Arapahoe? When do you
May
have-
14th.
May 14th? Because Jane in Elwood was thinking maybe. So did you
And I
find
can-
anybody to share with?
I did, but I can't remember off the top of my head who else is sharing, but yeah,
I'm
Jane,
sure
reach out.
he'd love to do
Book
all
more.
he can. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna get set up for Jody to come out here at let's go ahead and do the 15-minute break because I haven't given very many breaks today, it doesn't seem like. But, and so at 2 o'clock straight up, we'll be back with Jody, ready to go to tell you all about, let me see, I don't remember what we're calling it, Oceans of Crafts. So we'll see you back in 15 minutes. There you go, Autumn. Don't knock it off there we go. I'm out of here. See me. No, stick around. No, I'll see you. No, you want me to stick around?
Yeah, don't go too far.
Okay. Now, Autumn, you're supposed to translate if Jody gets too far away. But she's not fond of cameras. She's about to smack you because she's not fond of cameras.
Well, to start out with, I'm not near as adorable or cute as the balloon guy, but hey. I do have a couple jokes for you. I'm not showing them, sorry. What happens when you throw a white shell into the Red Sea? Perplexed, come on.
It turns pink.
Oh.
Sally got it.
It makes a splash. It doesn't turn pink.
Nice try, Sally.
A ship's crew is caught in a tropical storm. They all take shelter apart from Captain Crick. He braves the elements and the lashing rain. He has no raincoat, no hat, no umbrella. His clothes are totally soaked. Rain drips from the end of his nose, and yet not a hair on his head gets wet. How can this be? Oh. God, that was such a long one.
Rough crowd.
What is the strongest creature in the sea?
A mussel?
A mussel. Ew, growly one.
Got me.
One more. I have 10, but I'll only do one more. Imagine you are deep sea diving. You come face to face with a great white shark. You're terrified. What should you do? Stop imagining. We are going to make our first craft. You who are not here, I don't know, take another break. I don't know. I'll be back. I'll show you what we're gonna make. We're gonna hand these things out.
Tell them that they will.
And you will get yours. Yours will be in the mail. If it's the US Post Office, hopefully by spring.
Before summer.
Before summer, we hope. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give you really simple instructions. You're on your own. Take your blue paper out, unfold it so it's long. You also have a bunch of body parts, and you have a piece of tan paper, which is going to be your seabed. So that is going, paper long ways. Long ways. There you go. So you can have your water, your land will be on the bottom, your sand. We will glue him to the bottom. So we want it to go, if I could get it apart. Fingers. You work your fingers. Want it to go vertical, and we want our sand to go on the bottom. So we're going to glue that piece on the bottom.
You need to cut it off. So it's the same.
Well, you could, yeah. Did I not cut it so you can cut straight? Yeah.
Look at that.
That's why we have scissors on the table.
Okay, so here's Denise's issue. I thought it was glue.
bluer.
And
That's all
so
right.
it doesn't matter if, why would it have an inner seal on it? It does. So I can take the inner seal off. Sorry.
That was me.
Okay, and then in your little bag, you have all sorts of body parts. And you're gonna wanna start with, you're gonna wanna lay him out or her, depending on what kind of swimsuit you got. You wanna lay them out first before you start gluing to make sure he fits on the page, but you're gonna wanna start with the arms. You wanna hold up arms?
You bet.
And since you guys can think visually, and this is eventually what you're gonna have. Okay. Now, of course, I do everything huge, so mine is about 4 times. Yours in your packet that you will take home besides this is normal size, not near as big as what mine is. So you're gonna start with your arms, then you have a head, then you have a body part, then you either have a girl's swimsuit or boy's trunk, legs, and your slippers. And then you can put your hair, or you have 2 heads, and your mask. There's 2 different girls. Girls can be blonde or brown hair, guys are brown hair. So it depends on what you like.
Jody, let's see that over here.
And you can have your flippers stick off even the other way if you want to. This is what you should look like in the end. Way to the bottom. Yep. And then I've also given you a strip of crepe paper you can cut for your seaweed. You can go fancy and ribble it. You can just cut it in strips. It's easy to work with the kids if you just leave it attached at the bottom and just cut it down so far. And then I've also included a sheet of different fish and starfish that you can cut out to decorate up and around. And
So depending on what you get there at home, you'll have all your different little flippers, your little snorkel mask, your goggles, eyes. You'll get a baggie of all of those when you get home. Extra little fishes you can cut out, put on your poster board.
girl has ponytail or pigtail.
Hey, Jody,
Yes.
need a hand?
I do, and you are handing it to me.
You and Ethan.
Yeah, you can design your hair out however you want.
It should be scissors and. This wasn't how you guys said, right? You guys copied and cut. Oh, not for you guys. It's not the guys. Oh, I would be like small.
And really the cuts there, it seems like a lot of them, but they're pretty simple cuts, really doesn't take too long. Yeah. This is when I sing and dance. That's all right. It's a crease. Yeah, it's a star. Yeah. She has personality. That's really yeah. We got lots of crafting and talking going on here. That's the plan. There's questions about the fit calves that they have from all the swimming that they do. That's right. You swim with flippers, you got beautiful calves. Just saying. How are we coming along, ladies? Good? Good. No gentlemen today. Get strapped to the top of that car. Because we have too much stuff. I was just about to say, I looked at you. And she's got the front.
The bags kept coming on Monday. I was like, what do you think that Carl who?
That's what happens when you're my assistant. I just set it out. You know about that stuff. You're just gonna say.
It's your job to figure it out.
Yes.
This is what we've got to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lorraine.
Oh, we have, they're laying forward. Just no bottoms, that's all it shows. They're laying forward and their head is covering the strap around their neck. She's buying that. A little bit of the underwear off. There you go. All right, there you go. There are some, we couldn't handle it. Show them the there you go. She's got a bikini bottom and a top. No more fading. Exactly. All about me, you know. Okay, while you're kind of finishing up, we're going to continue on, just some show and tell. I have lots of show and tell. I just ordered these from Fun Express, which if you don't do Fun Express is Oriental Trading, but as a library, Fun Express gives you 20% off. So they have these little hammerhead sharks for Valentine's Day. And they have narwhals for Valentine's Day. So if this is something you're interested in, probably need to get it ordered. I don't know if they have some left, they'll go on clearance, I'm sure, after the holiday, but it's Fun Express. It's called Fun Express. It's like attached to Oriental Trading, but it's just a different, but they do give you a 20% discount on whatever I order. So I have seen water beads. Everybody in this room's probably dealt with them. I have done water all my entire life. Not my thing. So I did grow some water beads. I want them to go flying, but I did hide a couple things in here, so I'm thinking.
Sensory bin? Like a sensory bin?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Ooh, That
Yeah,
feels
there's-
weird.
But I
Yeah,
did
found a
hide a
stingray.
stingray and something else, so I'm thinking maybe probably more a bigger thing and a package of water beads. And I understand that if you take the water out of them or let them set out, they shrink back and then you add water and they grow back. And someone is nodding yes, yes. So I think one of these would go for quite a while and stuff. So I will let Tracy pass these around. You can just look, you can touch if you want to. Don't have to.
Warning, they're wet.
Yeah.
You didn't warn me.
I have no idea what's jellyfish. Okay. I did order from, I believe from Amazon, jellyfish. They come there, I think it's 4 to a package and they come in beautiful colors.
That's the way they come? You
Yeah.
have to attach
Yeah,
anything?
they're all attached and ready to go. All I gotta do is hang them up, unfold them
How
and
cool.
hang them up. You can also take a shower cap and tie ribbons to the bottom of it or whatever and make your own jellyfish that way if you want to hang those up.
Yes.
Where did you get your paper lantern?
Amazon.
And that whole comes as a piece.
It
from
comes with
Amazon.
this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it comes already attached. Yeah, I didn't have to cut him off and attach anything. He comes just like that. No crafting necessary. No crafting necessary on that one.
Just unpack.
Yeah, just unfold. I do have in your packet a little jellyfish fact, Jubilee fact sheet that's kind of pretty. You could actually hang up. Just some little facts about jellyfish. Why are they so squishy? Because they're 95% water. Do they have no brain, no blood, no bones, and no lungs? But yet they can breathe, move, catch food, eat, and make more jellyfish. Can they see? No, jellyfish don't have any eyes, but box jellyfish have 24 eyes.
They can
Yeah,
sting.
They can sting. They are considered bad dinner guests if you invite them over for supper, because after they eat, they digest their food and then they spit it out. So if you have kids, that probably does the same thing. I'm looking, I have to stay up here. I'm looking for 2 volunteers that will be made fun of. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You gonna be able to do this over here?
Yeah, if they come up this way.
I need a computer.
Can they come up right here?
She can probably come up. Now I just have her turn around. She can bounce it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk about it.
Yes, Senator. These are my volunteers to help be made fun of.
And they asked for it.
And they raised their hands. Okay, you are in charge of the puppets to the story.
Okay.
Do the best you can. I know they're hard to tell what they are. Oh, look, she's already grabbed one. We are ready whenever you are. Don't mind me at all. I'm not here. Okay.
The 3 little fish and the big bad shark. The 3 little fish and the big bad shark. Once upon a time, there lived a mama fish and her 3 little fish, Jim, Tim, and Kim. It is now time, said the mama, for each of you to make a home in the deep blue sea. So off they went. The first little fish named Jim swam away and met a seahorse playing in some seaweed. Can I have some of the seaweed so I can build a house? Take as much as you can carry, said the seahorse. Jim gathered the seaweed and made a weedy little house. Jim had just finished building his seaweed house when he heard the big bad shark knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in. The little fish trembled and replied, not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched and he ate up every bit of the seaweed house. And Jim swam away just in time. Dark fish. Soon Jim found his brother Tim. Tim said, don't worry, Jim, we fish stick together. You can help me build a sandy little house. Jim and Tim had just started to relax in the sandy little house when the big bad shark came knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in. To which the brave little fish replied, not by the skin of my fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched until he got a sandy mouthful and the house crumbled. Jim and Tim swam and swam until they reached their sister Kim. Kim was setting up her house in an old wooden ship. The big bad shark destroyed our houses. Don't worry, you can live with me, said Kim, and they did. The three little fish had just finished lunch when they heard the big bad shark knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in. To which the smart fish replied, not by the hair, not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in. The big bad shark munched and he crunched, but he could not smash the house in. And all his teeth fell out. The three little fish were safe at last. And he's stuck with the kelp. The end.
It's a female fish. That's right. That's the moral of that story.
I don't know if you guys heard, but it takes a female fish to outsmart the shark.
That's why you get your Oscar nominees in for these group over there. We have some sea creatures that, oh yes, I am. We have a frog. We have an octopus and a crab. They're just folding paper and then you cut out the body parts and glue them on, not two. Patterns for these will be in your take-home bags. For those. I also have in there these, and these turned out. I'm twice the color. Oh, octopus tried to take that one. They're just little pieces you color and then you glue one piece onto the other one. So this one is a fish in the water. This one is an octopus, kind of gives them a 3D effect. This one's a sailboat. We have a pair of sandals. They can design their own. Oh, sorry. And then we have our kid in the tube and stuff swimming. So we have that one. Oh man, we gotta do the educational part. These are ocean zones. I didn't know we had so many, but I don't go in the ocean because there's things in the ocean. Yeah. Anyhow, so what you can do it different ways. I just did a big one because big, don't ask why, I don't know. But eventually when I take it home, I will fill it up with water so it gets a more magnifying effect of what's on the back that says what your zones are and what creatures live and what. We just hung some so the kids would kind of have an idea. You also can do jars with food coloring, do your different levels of color up and stack your jars up or your plastic containers, whatever you'd have, and do the same thing, the effect of this without putting just the paper on the back of it. That way, yes.
You can do it as like a density tower with like oil. All of the different things too. And then you'll sit in your-
Okay, water in out of the hydrant works for me, but that's okay. Oh, well, I forgot where I'm going. There are a couple books that can go with those because they're really creepy. So A Day in the Deep and Down, Down, Down. And stuff that would talk about your different creatures in the animal zone. So that would work there too. Are we piling you up? Just a little. Excuse me, I have to do a little cleanup. Clean up on aisle 6. I'm not singing. In your book is a, do not sing. I do a lot of things. I have in your packet, Old MacDonald Had an Ocean. So you can sing that one. You want to sing? Oh, this one. I have about 4 refrigerator boxes at the library. My son works for a anyhow. So we will eventually have a fishing pond. So if you're thinking of a game to set up from like that, I did a mini version. I've decorated hanging with my fishing pole and stuff that you would have for however many books they read. If they come or at the end of the year when they have a carnival or whatever you do at the end, then of course you can always have prizes. I have bookmarks, candy, water animals, goggles, squirters, pencils, and a free book and stuff. So depending on what they draw for, or what they go fishing for, I guess would be the right term. But so there's that.
These were just ribbons. Very cute.
Yes, and that was just ribbon I cut and attached for instead of crepe paper. I like crepe paper. Did you tell everybody you put glitter in those shakers on their tables?
I didn't.
Okay, well, the little shakers that she gave you on your table, she put glitter in. Just warning you. Is there glitter in them? Did you put glitter in them?
No,
Oh, no, don't
No.
glitter in them. I thought she put glitter in them.
no.
Yeah, put your own glitter.
I didn't know who would want to have glitter in their library.
Sorry, I've confused the people live here today.
Yep.
Salt and pepper. Painting and glitter. Don't come to the library. I don't know what I do with that. Anyhow, so they have a paper plate craft you can do. I'm not big into the painting the blue plate blue, so I just bought plates. It works. But you're supposed to give it kind of that 3D effect. So I just cut the ring off another one and I sponged it. I'm big into sponges to separate it to get all even on whatever my poster is that's laying around here. If I do a 3D effect and I need something so it stands out, If you cut just a little piece of sponge, glue it, stick it on, put it then, put glue on it, put it on, it'll give you that effect instead of having to fold paper and do it that way. I use sponges, but so this way, or you can paint, they can paint the backside of it blue. You could, if you wanted to, put a piece of saran wrap in between. If you wanted to get that more glass effect, you could do that too.
So there's the sponges.
See, my assistant doesn't even know what
Well,
I
I'm
made.
looking over there
That
for it.
one.
I knew what, oh, there we go.
Now this one I did compose out of odds and ends. So this is just a lantern and I made a body and his nose is coming off. And I have a lady who teaches a preschool and with whatever craft, she buys a little craft kit. So she always brings them to me. There's always this kind of fringy paper in them all day. I have all different colors. And so I just put that on there, but you could put just some tissue paper and wave it and glue them on there. So that made my seahorse to hang. But I said his nose is falling off, but when you live in a box, it's hard to do. Yeah. Am I going too fast? We need to take a breath. Breathe, Jody, breathe. In your packet to go is this beautiful fish. The kids can color in many colors, but that's not all. Yeah. So I glued those. As you see, I didn't color those. I glued them on. So you could put anything in there, a whale, a person, whatever you wanted to do, but they could do that.
3D ocean user next.
My what? What are my? Oh, I already did those. Oh, okay, we're ahead of the game. Oh, no. I know. Oh, okay. All right, stand up. It's time for some exercise. I knew they were going to sleep, aren't they, Denise?
No, they're not going to sleep. They're crafting.
They're still gluing fish on their scuba diver. Good thing I did that one first, or you'd be here till 5 o'clock tonight doing that. Sorry, Broken Bow, you'd have to wait till they leave. Okay, our first one. We're gonna slither like a sea snake. Oh yeah, come on, hips, hips, we gotta have some hips. Hips are good. Hips are good. We're gonna wobble like a sea jelly. Everybody's figured that one out. There goes 5 pounds instantly off. Okay. This one's not a water animal. Waddle like a penguin? Who put that one in there? They live at the ocean. They live at the ocean. Yeah. We're gonna glide like a stingray. Ooh, yes, gotta have big legs and a little tail. Oh, very. We can start a dance troupe with that. That is wonderful. Hey, what is she gonna do next? Jump like a shark. The mouths were gonna we're gonna clap like a seal. We're gonna sway like an enemy. And hopefully we don't catch anything in our physical. Oh, this one will be interesting. Walk like a crab. Yes, we did.
Oh, boy.
Oh, look at this.
That was fifth grade, right?
I could do that, but I didn't do that.
Wouldn't that be?
It worked. Jump like a dolphin, make those leaps. Yeah, get some moves up. Stretch like a star. We'll have 4, we're kind of short one, but it'll be a workout. There you go. Last one. Wiggle like an octopus.
Gotta have 8 legs. Right.
Very good. And there is not a big copy of these, but there's a little copy of these in your to go home file. You can enlarge them like you want. Oh, you want to show them? This is my cone of octopi. Actually, somebody else made it for me.
Tracy?
I made her one as an example, and she had to go from there.
And then I told her that mine didn't look as natural as hers does. And she is the artist.
Yeah, anyhow, so you figure out how to whack those pipe cleaners around, but we're gonna set this on the back table. Everybody can take one octopus home with them. So you have an idea how to do that, so. And I just bought stick-on eyes. So we have, you know, heart eyes or star eyes, or so it makes the octopi all really strange, so. Walmart. Yeah, they got like a sheet of about, it must be like 30 on a sheet.
Like in the baking supplies or
No, in the craft
stickers?
supplies, by the googly eyes. And we had the Innovation Studios at the McCook Library. Non-techie Jody Crocker. Anyhow, but my staff did real well. It is gone now. We were awarded the laser cutter. North Platte, I understand, got 2 things. I'm not holding that against you, but it's okay.
They were little. They were little. Ours were little too. We got little.
Well, they didn't tell me about you because North Platte sat for an extra 2 weeks in the basement. It's like, okay, they get 2. I only got 1. Why did they get 2? Not taking it personal. Yeah, you did get it. Anyhow, yeah, and all the supplies. Hey, anyhow, we had the 3D printer, and no, I don't know how to run it, but someone took it upon herself to figure out how to do it. Bless her little heart. So she made some sea creatures for us, and I'm going to let her show you what she created.
Now,
Because
some of them I did have to have help from Miss Jody's husband to put together. He was a great help to me with some things. One of the things I made was a jellyfish.
And
Oh,
Casey has one of those.
And we sat it on top of a bottle so his legs would hang when we had him upstairs. It's for display.
She's got a wiggle. A starfish. And we will be getting one of these. We will be getting a 3D printer at our library. Yeah, we made. There you go. We have a stingray that has an articulated tail. And we started making a bunch of little stuff because we will give these little prizes away during summer reading. This is a turtle and his little legs and his head moves, and we made several of these. But
I have several colors.
yes.
Trying to use all the filament up.
And I made a seahorse that is articulated. Here is another turtle, but it's a little bit different because he is flat and he is completely articulated instead of just like the legs and the head.
That's a techie turtle.
Articulated, yes. We have a fish. And we debated on the stuff that's not articulated, and we think the kids will like the articulated things much better. So I made my grandkids stuff for Christmas, and they love it. Yes. Mhm. This is catfish. And a crab that is actually 2-colored.
And if you could tell, we ran out of red. So, and it ran out during the project, so I had to finish it somehow.
How are you?
I need a crab. A lobster. Excuse me. Lobster. Once again, it's still red. Okay. Here's another, this is just a little small octopus. And this one was different because this snake is one piece on it, whereas the bigger one, you had all the legs and then there was 3 other pieces that went to it and you have to put it together, so. And then I made a little dolphin.
Man, I want one of every one.
Another dolphin, yeah. And this is one of our favorites because we didn't know how he was gonna turn out. We get him going the right way. The dangerous one. The dangerous one that we will not give away. A puffer fish. These little things are sharp, so if your kids decide to throw them at each other, it's probably not gonna be good. And I'm really kind of hoping to have a 3D printer before summer reading gets here so I can make a bunch more, but we will see.
We will see. Jody.
And you guys are welcome to look at these. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
well, we have creative
You guys
people.
want to look at it?
Creative.
Creative, yes.
Okay, and then we look at spaces, that's what we're featuring this year.
Uh-oh, does Jody have another craft I need to pass out?
I think so.
Don't get the same color.
I hand out a set of white circle.
Oh, the white circle. Okay. Have a big white circle. Jody, I can get full ones at this table.
You guys, are you still cold? I know they turned it off. Yeah. Hey, Jody. Jody, where did you get the water?
Hey, we are going to make a spiny fish, so I need you to.
A spiny fish?
Spiny fish is what I call them. I just make up names. Sure what circles you're shooting. I don't think I'll need it, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna make a triangle with your big piece of paper. Okay, you're gonna make a triangle. You do it.
Okay.
Fold this little triangle out of your big piece of paper. And you're gonna open it back up. Fold along that line. We're gonna do both sides. So you should look. And these fold. You should look. I'm gonna unfold it. That's all I need. Go back to our triangle. And you're gonna cut up to this fold. You just want. So back to the fold is on the back. Cut up to this side.
Am I doing this right, Tracy? Just little?
Yep, just up, you just make the cuts up to the fold.
Up to the fold.
Up to the fold.
Yeah.
All the way up to the fold.
No, I don't know about it.
Where they had to do this. And they were.
And you do go all the way to the end. Oh, you don't want to go all the way to the end? Okay, okay. Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
Where you're topping your line.
She said not to go all the
When
way
you
to
get
the end.
that done and you get all your splits cut, then you're just gonna take this and get around this piece out here. Go all the way to the end. I can get you another piece of paper out. That's your refold. Yeah. Just gotta have it. You want them out to there, you want them to leave on the end. You're halfway there.
Jody, let me. So just,
Yeah, I can't do it. You're backwards. So you just gonna make a curve. Just kind of around.
that.
Okay, then you're gonna unfold him again. See if we come out coming right.
Stingray?
When you fold him, then he's gonna look like this. You're gonna take these two flaps. They're gonna fold in like this. You're gonna put glue on the bottom of one. You're gonna cut the other one off and then put them together.
So you're gonna basically make it like that.
This will be your spiny fish.
That. This, sorry.
Glue him on, then you with your other piece of paper, or you have. So then you want to see, make sure you're wide enough, and just cut a half circle out for his mouth, and then you can cut two slippers and a tail and glue them on. I gave you white stickers. Sharpies on the table to make his eyes. He could be a flying fish.
Then you'll cut a half circle, put it in there. So then what you'll end up with is a spiny fish, flying fish, like that.
The only difference is yours was yellow and hers was pink.
Yes. And hers looked way better than mine. Mine's not very spiny. He's got a broken back.
Oh, poor thing.
And stuff that they were longer and you turn them into lizards. With little legs and a tail and a tongue. These are spiny fish. That's all right, you can glue him on, doesn't matter. Yep. They don't know, they're throwing their arms out. This is weird.
Mine is
okay?
weird too.
I have succeeded. Okay. Making pens and paper.
There, it's a little better.
That's much better. Yeah.
Yeah, the more you move him, the better it goes.
Aha.
Stretch him out.
You just don't have any googly eyes yet.
I know, I gotta. Where do my eyes go? Here, huh? There we go. We got some eyes now.
That makes all the difference.
It does.
Catch you a kind of funny looking heart. You can also cut out a worm if you wanted to above. Mosquito. And I just do black stripes on his fin and his tail just to give him a little artistic, yeah. I'm all about that. She knows me well. And actually,
How did you do yours, Jody? Where'd it go? Yeah.
everybody got him figured out?
Make a couple little fins.
We need something else to decorate. I know, for sure. Where's Troy? Where's my soldier? You can order bubbles. You want to hang bubbles? You can order bubbles. You don't have to make them. These are actually in the baby shower stuff, just so you know.
Baby shower.
If you have a big lamp,
Oh, yeah.
you can hang it, you know.
Yeah.
There's that lead stuff that always comes out, if you save it. It also makes flags with the aquarium.
Whatever you want to do. Another really simple one for little kids, I just call it a roll fish. You just cut like a half a piece or a strip of paper, you roll them, staple them to a piece of paper, and then you can put on a couple little fins in there. This is just a silver Sharpie that I made the bubbles with and gave him some spots and some stripes. So you can do that one for littler kids. They can make their own fish bowls. This one, and these are just folded over fish, very simple. Very simple fish. I didn't open this one. This is, if you have games you put out, this is just a little magnetic game.
All right, so here's the spine fish. You just make their little mouth, googly eyes, their little fins and their tail. It's just heart shaped.
You are an artist.
Why, thank you. Is that Sally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a shark cootie sounds like something in your nose.
Now, and this fish bowl, Jody, we have this fish bowl
We have this fish bowl.
as part of the die cut set.
Oh, there you go.
So If you want this fish bowl, we can cut it out for you.
Kay can do that for you.
Tail, crank them out.
Kay's going. "Ah." Anyhow, this is a little shark toy. It's just a cut square, and they just have to fold it, very simple, and then you attach the fins to him.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
Oh. There's a pattern for a scuba mask in your packet. I can even work. Deep sea diving, you have your mask on. Okay. I think that was an insult, but it's okay.
Not everything is an insult.
Yeah, well, that one was, but it's okay. If you've been to the McCook Library, I found a big, I understand it's a cement mold. It's a big cylinder. It's about 6 feet tall and about 4 feet across. And I've done everything from rockets to, well, we did
Castles.
trees last year. I made it into a tree. This year it will become an aquarium. So I made a baby aquarium. This is out of an oatmeal box. So I just wrapped it and added my own decorations. And I did a foldable boat. If you want to do boat races and make foldable boats so they can race boats down a pile of water. So that works. My grand finale. This is my sea anemone. And I have all the little fishes in there. And I tried it with a styrofoam ball. Really hard to punch those straws in without breaking them. So this is that green flower foam. Just a half moon shape and stuff. And they slide in really easy. So of course you can make all sizes. You can make them square, around, whatever. It doesn't make any difference that way. So. Make them out of what?
Out of Chanel pipes.
Out of Chanel pipe? Yeah. So, yeah, and you could do little teeny straws. You don't have to do big pipe cleaners. You can stick pipe cleaners in them and do that too. So that works.
And actually, I think Menards has a box of those for 99 cents.
Okay, there you go. Another thing, shopping at Menards. Shopping at Menards.
Menards.
Menards. This
That's
is-
Denise's other favorite store.
yeah.
Number
This
2.
is jellyfish in a bottle.
Ooh.
This is 3 straws, flexible straws, and you stretch the flex out, bend them, and then cut them. My poor husband. I had all different plastic bottles out because I wanted a nice plain bottle that would show Valley water or whatever that stuff is. Beautiful shaped bottle. I thought, oh, no, I couldn't squeeze it hard enough to make it go. Anyhow, and then all it is 3 paper clips. You hook those together and hang them. Now you can put eyes on it, but I did that, just so you know, I did attempt the eyes. And yesterday, when I came home, the eyes were in the bottom. So I dumped them out. So when you have this, when they squeeze it and hold, your jellyfish sink. When we let it up, they come back. So they sink. Oh, look at me. The big hit. The big hit. So yeah, so cute. And you could use any kind of water bottle would actually probably work. So, but that's it. So. Huh? Anybody know why they sink? Come on, somebody young and scientific.
I think it's the pressure.
Pressure.
Like the pressure pushes out the straw, causing them to go down.
I'm assuming the straw has some air in it when you drop them in.
Yeah, because I think they wouldn't float.
But yeah, pretty interesting. We have one more craft. It will take, I don't know, this group might take longer.
And the system offers has this die. So if you want to request that, you can.
The store in Crossroads is one of our guys. So be sure to check your sheet. So you're gonna open your newspaper up. Gonna open your newspaper up. There should be two sheets.
There we go. Arr. Mine's already made. Okay. This is the newspaper. Open it like that. One side, then you do the other side. This one, the top one, will come up here towards your triangles. Like that. At this point, you have your two triangles. Fold. Take one of the sheets, both up.
Staple or tape here and here.
So you've got your triangles folded together, and then each side is folded up towards the center. And then once you have it like that, you fold this half down. Like that, and then do the same side, same thing on the other side.
You can, if you have, that way.
And then you would just staple on either side, get your hat, and then glue on your crossbones, just like that, and you're done.
Thank you.
Put an eye patch on him.
Now this is cool. Did you talk to? Yeah. I still, can I need some paper still?